Hello. Oh, look at that timing. That was pretty good. Hello. Hello, crazy. I just found your channel and you do amazing work. Love it. Well, thank you very much. And I love you too. Not like that, not in a weird way, but for coming. That's pretty awesome. Appreciate it. Now you get to see the really cool, boring part of animation, which is the hours and months and years that it takes to finish anything.
Get ready for all the magic you've had watching these videos fade away as you watch the arduous task of them slowly being moved around.
I think the process is fascinating. Problem is that it's fascinating in short bursts, and that it's like, okay, yep, you're gonna do that for the next 3 hours. I'll come back later.
I consider me sitting here as a form of torture.
Especially when I'm doing lip syncing, you can't hear it.
No, I can't hear anything you do.
But see, I don't know if that was creepier or
that's pretty creepy.
Or if this was creepier.
The previous one. It looks like she's biting her lip.
But this one doesn't have a nose.
They don't. Oh. Her nose just kind of grows, doesn't it?
It's because this, when you turn off the lighting, there's no shadows, and this one you can kind of see a little bit of the outline, but it's just kind of hidden.
Yeah, freaky noses. I didn't realize how freaky until you went to that angle.
No, it's because of the angle. Oops.
Yeah, but
there we go.
I mean, it's freaky at that.
No, they're kind of normal noses. Well, hello, Jurassic.
Derpy.
Derpy's back. That's Big Derpy is back. Well, she's got a normal sized nose. Look at. I mean, the one thing I don't really like about their nose is that there's no real arch. It kind of just goes nose.
They have a lot of space between their mouth and their nose. And they have gigantic eyes. You ever notice the gigantic eyes?
That's the one thing that always bugged me about like ponies and stuff too.
You don't like the big eyes?
Well, no, if you think about it from a realistic standpoint. Because an eyeball is round, and for how big of a space that it takes up to maintain a flat surface, their eyeball would be their entire head.
And they're like some kind of like small monkey or something that has really big eyes in comparison to the size of its head.
But it's probably not that big.
Like to the size of its head. Like the monkey itself is small, so the eyes aren't that big, but for the size of its head. I can't remember the name of the monkey, but it's pretty on par, like proportionally.
I'm doing well. He's not.
No, but I'm not so sure I'm going to sit this whole stream through, honestly.
But I'm doing fine. How are you? Done with the work. That means you and Michael could play Satisfactory again.
Good.
It's been like a couple of weeks.
As I've been busy or Otherwise preoccupied.
Karate, but you're done with work. That is work. Trying to get you in. Oh, you know what? That's why I can't see you. I changed the camera last time to have some zoom. There we go. Now we can see a Michael.
Watch me eat raspberries because it's super interesting.
Wait. You're gonna be like, whoa. Michael,
There he
whoa.
is.
Okay, we're gonna...
I mean, you're gonna break your camera at this rate.
It's a digital zoom.
Oh, I'm saying it's looking at me. It's gonna look
Oh.
great. I'm taking a shot at myself.
One o'clock in the morning. That's actually the reason, like, I used to have a job that I worked until, like, 5:30, and I would run home to stream at 6 because I knew that if I went and did a 3 or 4 hour stream that it was going to be so late in Europe that, so I tried to get it started as early as I possibly could. Now it'd be easier too, but it's just I need a little time.
I'm trying to think what 1 o'clock in the morning is in Europe. That'd be Eastern Europe, wouldn't it?
1 o'clock?
Right now.
Well, if you think about where Greenwich is, and that's 0.
I'm thinking he's like in either Germany or Italy. That's gonna be my guess.
Doesn't have to be Europe. There's also Africa.
I could be. That's true.
She's Germany. Well,
Aha.
well, Guten Tag, or Guten Abend, I guess. In my butchered American, I was gonna say slang, but American accent. Okay, I guess it is morning for you. I don't consider it morning until I've waken up, no matter what time. So if I stay up till 4 in the morning, it's not morning until I wake up.
The sun's rising. And it's like it's morning now. It's like no, it's not. I haven't slept yet.
No, I used to work a job that I would be Friday nights. I would be at work till 4 to 6 in the morning. I would be on my way home and the sun would be already up. And I didn't consider that morning. It wasn't morning yet. So, and then instead I'd get up at like noon. But thank God I don't want to do a job like that anymore.
Yeah, I did a job where I got off at 4 a.m. for a while. So not
Yeah.
great.
And well, mine was second shift, but it was just, I went in Friday. I'd work 6 hours like Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday I'd work 8 to 9, and then, or Tuesday I'd work 8 to 9 hours, and Friday I'd work 13 hours, something like that. It was crazy.
I have magic and you.
Oh, I don't know, you were, because you were gone for 2 of them, I think. We have most of this done.
Yeah. Oh wow, that's great. Yeah, you didn't have that done at all.
The only thing I don't know yet is,
You went from having her catch him to just him latching onto her.
well, because if she catches him, she would have to know he's coming. So the easiest way is to have him impact her to where he is on her in some way. And since I was already having a arm up, it worked like she was just doing like an unintentional clothesline of the dog. I'm gonna call PETA. Hello. What is it? Buggos for the win. Okay. Took me a second to break that one down. How's Existence treating you? Existence has been pretty good. I mean, if we're setting the bar that low, then it's been great.
Existence has been on and off.
I hope it hasn't been off.
It was off for like a second.
Whenever I go to sleep, existence
Yeah.
ceases to exist. No, the issue I'm having right now with this shot is her face. I don't know how to have her react here. Right now I just kind of have her stare forward, but...
I mean, surprise would be the obvious.
A surprise, yes, but if you're surprised, then you would turn to look at him, which if you're turning to look at him, then what would be the point of doing this? So I'm trying to figure out how to...
Maybe a double take kind of thing? Just casually looking over, and then, like, that would be the double.
Well, I guess I can have, like, confusion followed by then curiosity or something. Like, but also, because he is in the way of her face, you won't be able to, like, see all that much.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It took me a while. I was worried that on the Spike thing, like getting that to work right. And he's not done yet. He's like right at this point, they're all stale. I mean, then they get hit by a rocket, but
So, does Spike have like a cutie mark as a dog, or what is that on his butt?
it's a birthmark. Don't make fun of him for his handicap. Is that a handicap? I don't think it's a handicap.
Handicaps. Anyone who has a
It depends.
birthmark is-
If you have one like right here,
That's not a handicap. It's an unfortunate birthmark. I would call it a handicap.
Spike is handicapped, just not for that.
Well,
reason.
yeah. He's a dog.
Yeah.
Dogs are handicapped by default.
No, so he still does have a little bit of work I need to do for him, and also this is, I think, just past keyframe for that move. But it's because I didn't want to put too much effort into that if I didn't know what I was going to be doing with it. And this, the whole point, like the getting into the rocket, is that Twilight had launched a rocket that Spike was shoved into, and he was as a normal guy, but then the rocket kind of just goes and disappears, and then pops back up here.
My hands on this crown, and it really should have been mine all along.
People are really gonna like this video, and you're so close to finishing it. It's amazing after all this time.
Yeah, but I'm not really in a rush to finish it either.
Well, yeah,
the only
it's
reason
been
I'm
such an integral part of your life for like the last year and a half.
the November 9th of 2018. No, the reason. Well, it's actually 4 months from being 2 years. Stupid. But I've done a lot of stuff in between there. But no, I'm then looking forward to getting this done because I want to go to super short things for a while.
Wasn't that what this was supposed to be, though?
This was supposed to be medium because it was 30 to 40 seconds. By super short, I'm meaning under 10 seconds. Because I can do those, and I want to put out content every couple weeks for a little while. But monetization-wise, short videos make you butt on money. So this one actually it has a better potential for.
You know, I had a horrible idea because it extends the video.
No.
But just the idea of after everything clears, just have that scene that you already animated with Little Pip coming out, but just looking around and going, what the fuck?
What?
Little Pip coming out of the bomb shelter.
Oh, no. That's from a whole different video.
Yes. But I love random.
But no, once this shot is done, and this shot is very well, I still have to do the background and the lighting or whatever, but that's easy. I still have to do the establishing shot here, and then the back shot before everybody blows up and dies. But then I still have to figure out what to do here because I don't know.
It seems done to me.
Actually, that reminds me. Do I have... I do, thankfully. Okay, because this camera angle has this stuff. I don't need this stuff. I need this stuff. We're going to... Okay, I need to delete those. Delete those. Delete those. And need those two. And I need to grab from here. I don't know. But I want to keep it organized. So I need... I love this song. Yes. Right outside my window there's a line of trees. So, like, I have a small deck, and then probably about 12 feet from there is just a line of trees, and there's always there's a bunch of little small swamps around, so we get birds and frogs and crickets and everything. Right behind that is a development, so during the winter I can see the houses, but during the summer it looks like I have a forest behind my place, which is pretty nice. But I love the sound of birds. Oh, so much.
Well, the line, we get birds.
The
line, we get birds. I'm trying to think of somebody who doesn't get birds.
Well, if you're in a city, you're probably not going to be hearing those kind of birds. You're probably not going to hear any.
You get pigeons. The rats in the sky.
Sure.
Sky rats. That's a horrifying thought. But that's what bats are, I guess.
So I don't know what parts of the scene build I need from here, but if I just copy everything, I'm going to lose the grouping, and I don't want to lose that grouping. That's fine. So I want to do this in groups so that I maintain that. But why am I not seeing? Oh, because I have it shut off. There we go. In 3 hours, the first birds will also sing on my street. Oh yeah, that was that's one of my favorite things. Like right now, because I work from home, get up in the morning, I open the windows unless they were open all night, and like being able to just kind of relax as the sun's rising outside and the birds are chirping and everything's waking up. It's just so nice. I love it.
There's a woodpecker that wakes me up at 5 a.m. sometimes. I wish that bird was dead. Different experience.
I even that I wouldn't bother me all that much.
You can say that unless you're trying. You're like already got to bed late.
No, I do. The nature noises don't have it at all. And I have white noise all the time running.
Yeah, you do.
So help me sleep.
I have the beautiful sounds of nature that I'd like to throw a brick at. Woodpeckers, man.
Sorry for the warning messages. Anytime I copy something that's locked,
I think
it gives me a warning.
I think I understand how they got the name.
I do want to check here. I think some of these... Okay, nope, that's in the background. Perfect. So am I missing anything from this shot? Yeah, there's some miscellaneous stuff. I probably called it miscellaneous stuff. Snout supports, chairs. I'll do that. Actually, I don't even know if I need those, but I am not sure. So I would rather just put them there, review what I have, and then remove what that's not visible. But there's something I'm still missing. No, I think it's some of the supports. Those are lights. Yeah, some of those might be visible. And her doing the thing was a joke, and it's just kind of stuck for now. Because I like to keyframe, and that is essentially what I would consider my keyframes of. It's the it's the it's giving me the intention of the shot. But so this is a shot from another file. This file got too long, or not too long, too big with stuff that was in it, so I had to split it in two. So this only looks like a 60-second video, but it's actually like a minute something. Or no, it's not 60 seconds. It's a minute. No, it's actually about like 2 minutes long, and the other file just got too big, and so I had to split it in two. Otherwise, I was going to run out of RAM. 32-bit limits. Wow, that just made it worse. Let me grab... So there's no ring lights. I don't know why I have that in there. So most of those lights are there. I don't really... Yeah, I'll need that. Some of these are going to be duplicated over existing. No, that's not even right for. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use these ones as the new, and I'm just going to toss away these. Yeah, that'll be a lot easier to start from. Alright. Then with that, I can see what I actually have included within that white box. So I can go from making this shot horribly inefficient to being efficient again. So for instance, this shot, you don't see the floors, so I can get rid of them. Computers, I'm going to save on those because that's going to be a messy one. Wall panels. We are going to get rid of any we can't see. Which would be those ones. So, only one wall panel to keep? I don't even know if I can see the one. Nope, I can see... Oh, I did mess that up. I need this group and just do these ones. So SFM's weird where it, even if it's not visible in a shot, it's still eating processing. So I have to do this or it's going to be basically impossible for me to do anything. Well, with the lights on. So these, not visible. These. My way of checking is just move things around. If I don't see anything in the shots move, it is not visible. These ones I'm going to keep just in case. Supports. And actually, there's a chance that I might change some stuff, so I might have to go through this process again, but I don't think I'm going to. Well, no, actually, I can't see any reason why I would include anything else in that room. Okay, so it's 1, 2, and 3. So let's get rid of those like that. What are these? Oh. See, that's going to save a lot of light. And these never lit. This group I can get rid of. I'll keep the rest just in case. Ceiling, I'll keep it just in case. Chairs. Okay, you can see one chair. Which chair is that? It's chair 3. So screw you, other chairs. And then floor lights. These are all the floor lights. Don't affect anything. Perfect. Damn it. Basically everything. Like, I don't even think I have any of these to worry about. Nope, I don't. Okay, we're just gonna get rid of them all. That makes that easier. Okay, and then the computers. Okay, so I don't want to move this one. Okay, we'll get rid of all these. Then I think one more small group, and this is sufficient-ish. Oh, I'm missing a wall panel here. Yeah, that one got left behind. What is this? I think I might keep everything else then. Okay, now this runs a lot better. All right, lighting. Just getting rid of that one. That's important light. There it is. So this is just for the volumetric. So yeah, I'm gonna kind of work as is. We'll leave it. The low angle. Actually, I'll do that last. might be a little bit harder around the corner of it. That's fine. Highlight left, right, front. Oh, I remember why I had to do that. The lights were not matching up right. I think I might be able to be fine now with this. Like, it was the light. It was very. I had very harsh rims, so I need to have the left and the right much brighter than the rest. Okay, that should work for that. I don't need these anymore. This one. So she's going to be looking at this screen that is probably going to be showing death and destruction, which is Twilight's favorite words. Put a little bit there. So there's probably going to be a little bit of, like, I gotta be like flashing on the screen and stuff. But I want to make sure that I'm at least balancing her out right now. So we'll do that. Okay, that does actually work. I need to make sure it was balanced. So put a little bit brighter on that, and then a little brighter on there. Now, I want to make sure each shot is balanced. I'm not having a drastic light difference from one shot to another. And this looks pretty decent. I'm a little worried there's light underneath her head. I think that would be shaded.
Blam!
Yeah. No booze?
No booze for a while yet. Watching your stream sober is going to be hard.
Breathing the same air you
Types in
have
house
is
and
hard.
get rid of Mike.
Okay, I think that's good for that. Now I'm gonna grab one of these lights. And we need to have Twilight go blind. So there we go. You can... Okay, Twilight, there you go. You can... Science. No, I want to bring that value actually quite a bit lower. I want to have it pretty subtle. And probably a little bit focused. Where's my light now? Okay, that'll work. So I'm going to take now. So, oops, let me turn that down a little bit. I don't know if this is going to work or not, but we are going to see. I want to try to simulate a like TV type thing, but I'm not sure how to go perfectly about it. So, what I'm going to do is grab intensity. We're going to jitter this. Okay, that's actually better than I thought for the spacing on that. And then I'm just going to grab like a part like right here. I'm just going to, no, I'm actually going to grab a little bit larger. Okay. Now what I would like to do is have it where it wasn't so, it would jump faster and stay where it is longer. But I don't, there's no like quick thing for that. Not really. I think to do that, I can keep it on this normal bit, and then I'm just gonna have to like manually do that. Okay, I'll do like a little bit longer. I need to go past this boundary that I'm working in for reasons. Okay, one more little bit with that, and then I want to have like one bit where it kind of jumps up quick and then goes back down or something. Oh, that's too bright.
Are you just working on the lighting, or are you like trying to perfect that head shake?
No, it's the lighting.
Okay.
Because I want to. She's looking at a screen that she's going to be seeing something from, so the lights are going to be changing, like seeing the light reflect on a monitor. So I need to try to simulate that. So what I'm going to do is take one like this, and this one is going to be placed, we're going to say like right here. Then we're going to copy this one and paste it. We're going to move this down here. Paste. Move this over here. And have this one down here. Okay, yeah, they're definitely too bright right now, but we'll see. And then I'm just going to shift and move these a little bit. So yeah, they're definitely a little bit rough on the intensity here. And then I'm going to grab this light, and we're going to see if we can give it a little bit of a random color. And then I just clicked off of them all. Wonderful.
Yay, more derpies.
Derpy, is that what they're going to be called now? Derpy bits?
Yes.
Because that sounds like she'd blown up.
No. It sounds like
there's derpy bits everywhere.
Formed her own nation, of which she is the princess, and that is the currency that everyone.
It sounds like a very egotistical way of naming your money. What is the name of this money? Michael Dollars.
Yes. If I have my own country, one day everyone will spend Michael bucks.
Well, what about coins? Well, that's a Michael coin.
Yeah.
They all have the same value.
It's a Mike coin because it's
Mike. Well, yeah, they're Michaels and Mikes.
Yes.
And then, like, the $100 are the Teos.
Yes. I've yet to establish my country, so I haven't been able to get the mint up and running just yet. But give me time.
Well, if you make the money, you can say any amount. You could say anything. You'd be like, this is a mic. I own that now.
Yes. Sounds like a good plan. Nah, in my country, we're gonna go back to trade. We're gonna get red currency. We're gonna go back to the way things were used to get done.
Gonna go to the barter system?
Yes, we're going back to the bartering system. It's gonna work out fine, you'll see.
What's the most common thing for bartering? People.
Oh.
In Michael land, slavery is legal.
No. I will not have this.
Everybody's a serf.
Well, if everyone's a serf, then that's just the standard.
Well, except
I
you.
am king. Well, yeah, I'm king.
How many US dollars for one Mike dollar? What's the currency exchange rate?
You got to give me at least $5,000 for one Mike dollar. It might look like it's written on just a piece of paper and it says Mike and it'll say
I owe you.
I owe you
Is that
one Mike dollar?
It's from the mint, the IOU mint.
Yes.
Hello, Red Dead. You could have said any amount and then like just given him any number of monies.
$5,000.
But you could have given him 5,000 Michael dollars and just said it was $1
No,
each.
it's Mike dollars is worth a lot more than that. You got one Mike dollar for 5,000 US dollars. You want 2 Mike dollars? You're gonna have to cough up.
That's gonna be a pretty rough exchange on the country lines. Like people are wheelbarrowing money and they're like, "Can you do? Excuse me, sir. Can I have some bread?" Like, no.
I have to draw each of those dollars by hand. So.
You're the king, yet you aren't outsourcing your money creation.
Well, I mean,
You have a coloring book, and each page is a new dollar. It's all new art on every single one. You'll think, "Oh no, I'm out of coloring book. Good thing I now have Michael dollars to go buy new ones."
I'm sure this store will accept my Michael bucks. What was I watching about that 120 convention in Las Vegas where that exact thing kind of happened? I think I was watching I can't remember the name of the convention, but apparently it was a complete wreck. And at one point they had people could exchange real money for like
Well, thank you, little Skylight, and welcome again. 19 months, Jesus Christ.
Oh wow. That reminds me, I gotta give you rent today.
Yeah, that's why my checkbook is here, because I need to do my HOA, but I am out of stamps.
I have stamps.
No, I need one.
I can give you one.
Yeah. Other than that, I was going to go out in the morning. I have to have it postmarked
I
tomorrow.
think they're in my drawer. I'll grab them after this.
So when you forget where they are, and then I have to go anyway.
They're up there somewhere.
There's a lot of stuff up there.
Oh, a lot of stuff's still in my closet.
Yeah, Las Vegas' PonyCon. It was the one that kind of had the problems.
Yeah.
Oh god, how many years? 5-6 years ago, maybe.
It was 2013.
They just had they had a lot of money issues in the background, and they really weren't saying anything about it, and ended up being that they couldn't pay for the whole hotel, so the hotel kicked the con out, and everybody was left with hotels without money. Everything. So the con kind of screwed everybody else over. Not going to blame everybody that worked at the con, but there was probably at least 1-2 people or small group that were the ones to blame for it.
Like the guy running the convention, I understood, like ducked out, like he disappeared, like on the last day.
Yeah, it's
He fled.
Yeah, so it ended up being a lot of people kind of got screwed, and they were left with having to pay a hotel before they were able to, or with extra fees, or they just didn't have the hotel room anymore, and so now they're like locked into a non-hotel rate or a non-convention rate, increasing the rates, and there was just a lot of crap. And so I remember when that happened.
Remember Tara Strong? It was the reason she refused to do any more first-year cons,
Yeah, I can see that.
because she had apparently missed her son's birthday to go to it, and it was like.
No, trust me, that most of the people running conventions now have been doing it for long enough, and a lot of the people, or even new cons, Las Vegas had a new PonyCon a couple years ago called High Roller PonyCon, but the con was ran by, I don't know if there's new people involved, but it was still veteran other con runners that were there assisting, like the Charlie Worthley that helps run the local Midwest cons in America here. He was helping run that one. So if there was problems, they would be better aware of it. And that one went well, as far as I know. But most of the other ones, or at least in America here, aren't really first year. Most of them have been running for a while. Like TrotCon's had many years, Everfree many years, Cider Fest, Winnie City, BabsCon. What's the one in Texas again? Not Nightmare Nights is gone, but the HarmonyCon. So all those have had multiple years. There's no first year cons anymore. At this point, there's really not a point for a new first year con. There's enough, I think, throughout the year with the size of the community to handle it. It's already that MLP has more conventions probably for its top, for how big it is than any other fandom. Well, hello, Blurred.
We need one in Minneapolis, though.
We
need another one in Minneapolis, though. We need to poke Charlie with a stick.
No. MLP MSB was great. It's gone. I'm fine with it being that way. Because why would you need a third one in the Midwest? For a while there's one in Kansas City.
Yeah.
But no, the Midwest has two, and they were split up by a large time difference, which was great. Not so much anymore, but that's fine. But then you have two in the West Coast, one in the South, then two in the Midwest. East really doesn't have any that I can think of anymore. There's Sequestria, or something.
There's a few.
But yeah, none that I've ever been to or probably ever care to go to.
Burning House only on the East that was worth going all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah, Cider Fest to me is the best convention. Even BronyCon was great, but it was for different reasons. Cider Fest to me is the most fun I've ever had at a convention. I've been there every year. I think it's been 5 or 6 years. This year I think is their 6th. Don't take me on that. But they're changing venue this year because of the COVID-19 stuff. They're not really. They're keeping attendance at half of its original values, and they're only taking sponsors, mainly because if they're going to limit attendance, the people that pay for most of the convention are sponsors. So if they just did it by normal attendance, they wouldn't be able to afford it. So
it's hard on the vendors, though.
Yeah. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting experience. But if you do want to go, make sure that as soon as they open up registration, you jump on it. But there's always the chance that something happens and things get canceled. So if you're flying in for it, you're taking a risk. But next year, hopefully things settle down enough, and I hope it goes back to normal. Because Cider Fest is awesome.
Yeah, I'm going to try to go this year now that my...
Well, they shouldn't be... and Charlie had said for Cider Fest that if he could cancel, he would. But because the state is currently in its reopening phase, it's not like before when things were all closing down that he could cancel and the hotel would basically have to say, okay, that's fine. Now they're in a contract, so if they cancel it, they have to pay the cancellation fee, which is a 6-digit number, and would bankrupt both conventions that he runs, and they would never have it again. So if they want to cancel it, we would never have it again. So instead, they're doing everything they can to try to keep it as safe as possible by limiting attendance. The hotel is allowing up to 50% capacity, and if they drop the convention down to half size, it'll be 25% of the capacity instead. So they're already going to keep a lot of extra space. So they're doing what they can. But he had said that if he had the choice, he would cancel. But he kind of doesn't. Unless the state goes into lockdown again. If it does, then the hotel has to let them cancel. Yeah. Then that's different. But as of right now, he can't just say, well, I don't want to go there anymore because he's under contract.
Buy a spirit badge.
And the hotel has been super lenient and super good and helping him out and making sure that things go well and giving them what they need. So he goes, it's not the hotel's fault. It's just that if you cancel an event, they're losing out on stuff too. So they have to follow through on this. So, but yeah, and even though they're only doing half attendance, they are going to do a hybrid online convention. So you can still go and see most of the panels online, live streaming, which I wish they'd kind of do anyway, but which is still cool. And if you And I do recommend that if you want to make sure that conventions happen next year, if you can, and you have money available, buying a Spirit badge for a lot of people that have them, they'll still send you a lot of the merch and an actual badge, but you're at least helping keep them go till next year. And it's usually cheaper than a normal ticket. So it's not a bad thing. Doing your part to ensure that they keep going. If you can't afford it, that's fine. And obviously this is a rough time for everybody. Sequester is already having issues outside of COVID. They could have timed it worse despite the fact that they went in as Boner Cause was closing. I haven't heard too much info on it. I stay away from drama stuff, so I have heard certain stuff on the side. Equestria LA or EQLA had its last year like 3 years ago or something. I wanted to go to it, but I ended up it would have been like 3 cons in 4 weeks. Yeah, I can't do that. So I didn't do that. But yeah, that one is gone. They don't have it anymore. Lost track of what exists and what doesn't. All I know is Cyprus is still going on. Yeah, that's the only one that matters. Kinda. Is it in America? At least so hard because of COVID. Yes and no. The problem with America and COVID is that you have a lot of people stubborn about doing precautionary measures that they should be doing, and so and the fact that they're trying to open it up more than they probably should, and it's causing spikes in levels. But then they're just kind of, as things drastically increase, they're basically trying to keep it just open enough, but I think it's a lot worse than people think it is, and they're just kind of ignoring it because the economy is more important. So, but then you just have people being stupid. As soon as things start opening, everybody thinks everything's fine and dandy, and they can go out and they can do whatever they want. But then they go to the beach and they go to the park and they're with hundreds of people, and then things spread like wildfire again because they think since things are open that it's all fine and everything's cleared. It's not that way. Americans are entitled assholes. I thought the time between BronyCon and Ciderfest is already too many cons for me. Actually, to me, the biggest gap was between Ciderfest. It used to be between Ciderfest and then the first con of the year. For me, because I didn't go to like any of the January ones, so it was like from the beginning of winter to the beginning of spring, and yeah, and that winter in Minnesota is long. So it felt. And that's the boring time that you're all alone anyway, so it felt really long. But then the spring had a bunch, then it'd be a couple, like a month off, then it'd be another one, then a couple months off, and then another one, it'd be like 2 months off and another one. So it was a nice little balance from there.
The con I'm looking forward to the most isn't Ciderfest. It's the super special secret convention.
Oh, yeah, it's a working title con.
Yes. Yay, more derpy.
Mike Dollar has been made.
Yay, all the Mike Dollars.
No, so in America, they are slowly increasing mandatory mask use, but it's all state controlled. And some states are being more strict on it than others. The state that I'm in, it was just, I think last weekend, they put through legislation to make it a lot more strict for masks. So now you cannot go like inside a building, a public building without a mask. If you go to a restaurant, like I was at one just a couple days ago, and they have a sign on the door that says, "We won't let you in without a mask." As soon as you sit down, then you can take it off. But because then you're controlled and they have glass up between, but they are just doing that now. And there is some leniency they have in it, but the main thing is as long as you cover the majority. And I'm glad that Minnesota is doing that before things got worse, not like Texas and Florida where they got hit really hard. California is not doing great. But then there's other states that said that they put state legislation through that said that they would ban counties from putting through mask mandates. So they're going the other direction, and
This is crazy.
It's stupid. It's people thinking about re-election and people thinking about the economic impact. But I mean, actuaries exist where it's people that are balancing cost of something to life. That's something that people do every day. If you drop the speed limit on a highway by a certain amount of speed, you are going to save a certain amount of lives in doing it. But instead, we keep it at a certain speed because we say that speed, its benefit, is enough to make up for the difference in life loss that could potentially come from it. So they do that every day, but that's accidents. This is something that I think is much, much more preventable, and their idea behind it is, but we don't want our GDP to drop. Whatever. But I also work in an industry that I don't see being heavily affected by a big drop. So I'm safe where I am. So my perspective on it means that I'm going to be biased on saying that the economy doesn't matter as much to life. But if you're in a position where you've lost your job and things are rough and you can't pay for things, you might see it the other way. I'm not in that position, so I'm kind of a little biased on that.
Can't help but feel like if things were at their worst, though, people would be losing jobs anyways. Things were left alone.
Well, in America, things opened. It's just they opened before they should have. Things were doing good, but they weren't doing great. And so they said that they hit an acceptable point where they felt that they could open it up and things would be fine. But then people just didn't follow the rules. After things open, you should still wear your mask. You should still be careful on things. And just because things are open doesn't mean that you can go back to normal. It means that you're able to do some things, but only if you really need to. Other than going grocery shopping, getting my hair cut once because I desperately needed it. I needed it before the thing started. And then we went to a couple different, we go to one of the local cideries here, which does everything outside. They don't even let you inside, and they're big spaced out tables. So, I mean, it's pretty safe compared to what it is. That's the only things I really do. I don't go out to the mall. I don't go out and put myself in a situation where I'm going to be putting myself more at risk. Because if I catch something, I had an uncle die this week because of COVID complications, and he got it because his wife got it, and his wife got it because his grandkids got it, and so his grandkids are fine. And if I caught it, I might be fine, but who am I going to give it to? And then if they give it to somebody, and they give it to somebody, and then they potentially die, then yeah, I'm fine. But if I would have been better protected in doing the things that I should have done, they maybe wouldn't have. And I'm not going to put myself in a position to have to deal with that. Or not even deal with that. I don't want to be that person.
My hair is getting sexier the longer it gets, so I'm fine with not getting a haircut. Because it's like getting bouncy.
Well, then you could... Well, see, you can comb it over. And then if it gets long enough, you just comb it back over again. And you do a double layer thing, and then hair.
Then I just put it all down with hairspray, and then I regret what it is.
Or you can kind of just keep swirling it so you look like an ice cream cone.
That's a good idea.
Michael the ice cream cone.
It's amazing.
Mice cream cone.
Mice cream cone.
Mike screen cone. It looked right in my head.
It needs work.
I must go. Okay.
I'll go.
Enjoy the Mike dollar.
Go kick children.
Thanks for giving Michael the money that goes in my bank account. Appreciate it.
It's Mike dollars.
I was about to say that there might be a position where the economy is dying could also kill people. Some small business owners literally have their livelihood. Yeah, no, and that's where I said it's a balance. It's the same thing with the road thing of it's finding a balance for things, but one of them you can. Is one you can measure and you can see, and one that's preventable, and the other one, it feels different if you're making a decision, because then you're saying whose lives do you save, and when you're doing that group, who do I save? That is never a decision that will have a right answer. So it just comes down to what do you do? And I feel that right now we're focused too heavily on the economy and less on life. And yeah, if there was a vaccine that was proving to work and was being distributed, hell, open everything up for whatever I care then, and then start getting it out. But right now we're not at that point. I've just buzz cut yourself. Easiest self haircut of your life. I did good night, crazy. I did that once. I have a thing against public, like the gray clips and stuff. I've been doing it more recently, but it's mainly because I used to go to a barber that was by my old job, and I don't work there anymore, and that's a long ways away. So I've been going there, but like I've had like cost cutters, the really cheap places that are beauty salons instead of actually like haircut places, like stab my head, cut my ear. One lady at one of the places was missing 2 halves of her finger in the middle, and the last thing you want to do is have somebody missing half the fingers on their hand with a pair of scissors. So I
Crazy places you go into.
well, that was just over time. I mean, this wasn't like an everyday occurrence, but it was just I didn't like them. So when I was going to school, it was like 2 hours from here, and I just really needed a haircut. And I just hated those places, and I didn't know any barber locally. So I went to a Great Clip, so the cheap place. And they're like, "What can I do for you?" And I'm like, "Buzz it to a 1/2 inch. Nothing else. I don't want you touching a scissors." And so but I had like a freaking egg shape. Like it was just perfectly round. And it was hilarious, and it was so bad, but I felt like at least I survived my trip to the beauty salon, so I was fine.
I'm just imagining all these haircutting places you went to, and you just got a pair of scissors sticking out of your shoulder at the end of it. And it's like, I came in on that pretty good.
They gave me my lollipop by just sticking it in my hair.
Yes, like what horrible haircutters. Like
it was just those ones were not to me. A lot of the people at those beauty salons are trained. No, they got a license. They know what they're doing. But I feel that they're not the perfect people for men's hair. And a barber I like going to but more because that's what they do. And every time I went to a barber, the atmosphere is better. The people are better. The haircut is more fit for what I'm looking for without even saying anything. And the barber I went to had been the one I went to when I was like a baby, and I was just getting my first haircut. So I prefer going to a barber if I ever can. Yes, I'm a veteran. Survived the beauty salon wars. It was a scary time. But also when I was younger, we were a family that we weren't poor, but it was, we were lower middle class, and with my dad being the only one working and 4 kids, so they would just do everything as cheap as they could for the most part. So we just usually went to Great Clips and stuff. Yeah, I know you probably just did the bucket cut.
Yeah, like my family wasn't lower middle class. My family was dirt poor. My dad worked at a Snappy's and my mom didn't. Snappy Tomatoes Pizza, if you're ever like in the greater Cincinnati area, you know what that is. It's a pizza place. My dad worked at a pizza place.
They're not from.
He also drove the Swans truck. They're a bit more spread out, right? You got Swans.
Schwans?
Swans. The trucks, they're like freezer trucks.
But not swans, but schwans.
Swans.
SCHWAN.
Yeah.
Okay, you're just saying swan.
Well, that's all I ever said.
It's schwan.
But whatever.
Say schwan.
Swan.
There you go. You actually did it. I thought you weren't.
I always say you look at swans.
No, we do. When I was at 2 jobs ago, one of the ladies there actually had the guy come in all the time, but it was expensive. It was actually pretty good,
It's
but
pretty expensive. My dad blamed that job on losing his hair.
What, it went in the food?
Well, he kept saying his hair would get stuck to the top of the freezer truck and it'd all get ripped out.
Wear a hat.
That would have been a good idea. You didn't wear a hat.
You're like your dad.
Yeah.
I would do it, but I gotta buy a hat then.
But no, so we didn't have a lot of money, so we definitely, going to a salon was above their pay grade. It was pretty much put a bowl on my head. I had a bowl cut until I was like 13. I was like freaking Ringo.
Actually, when I was going through some of the pictures of my uncle, because the funeral was on Thursday, there was a picture of my dad back, and he was probably just a couple years older than me. And it was like, he just looked like a hybrid of me and my brother. Yeah. Like, it was the weirdest thing. It was creepy.
That's how it goes.
But when I was younger, when I was 5, 6 years old, that's the way he looked. And when I always think back, my brain can't unsee the way he is now.
If you ever want to see what my dad looked like at my age, it's pretty much just me with red hair. That's pretty much what my dad looks like.
Well, he was a looker.
No, red-haired people are weird.
Oh, they are. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, but the nice thing is,
What's that?
no soul.
I mean, it doesn't hold you back.
Yeah, I mean, it's. I don't need morals. Okay, I think that should work for sizing. I can probably even get a better effect with this by having it move against her. How many hours do you have in Source Filmmaker?
Well, that's his favorite question. You're his favorite.
I always have
person.
fun because I can show it a lot. Quite a few. I mean, there's about like probably like 2,000 hours of it are render, but still, it's a lot of time.
But he did all that in one weekend.
Michael, it's 48 hours in a weekend.
Hit my head. I'm gonna use that excuse for everything.
Well, actually, I'm curious if I were to be using this non-stop.
It's like a year.
That's an entire year.
Sitting on Source Filmmaker.
So if I had opened SFM and then didn't close it for an entire year, that would be. Why'd you do this to me, Michael?
I mean, I didn't do nothing.
You're to blame for everything.
I know. That's fair.
This is going to be the hard part. Getting the clouds to work. Well, thank you for the follow the Seer Llama. It's going to say Slama. Everything's lowercase. It makes it hard, and then I go make my name all lowercase.
Just imagining like a wrestling llama now. Like, here comes the slama, and he's like, oh.
I just have my gaming life. Well, and it's funny if you look at I guess profile is the best way to do it. I gotta get rid of the volume bar there.
What game have you put the most time into?
What game?
Yeah. I know.
I'm guessing it's gonna be Clicker Heroes.
Oh, that doesn't count.
Then Dungeon Defenders, which is 705.
Is that another game where you can just turn it on and walk away?
No. It was a tower defense game.
Then Dungeon Defenders. Because Clicker Hero, you just turn it on and then you don't really pay attention to it.
I would have it running in the background. Yeah, it was just a nice because most of those hours were during SFM, because SFM is a lot of thinking stuff, but sometimes you just need a break to do something else. But playing a whole other game is a very involved process, so that was great because I could kind of run it on the side and poke at it, and it was able to give my mind the little micro breaks it needed. And enough that if you're stuck on a thing, it lets you pull away for a second so that when you came back, everything was back and easy.
You've played a lot more Terraria than I thought you had.
But no, Dungeon Defenders, I played a long time. I have like almost every character that's in there with max level. Tons of farmed gear. It was just, and I think I have most of the achievements in that game too. Yeah, considering how difficult a lot of these are, yeah, that's quite a bit. Team Fortress 2, yeah, I played a lot of that. Borderlands 2, I had 100%ed, but then they added a DLC like a year ago, and now I have to go back and do it again.
You have to.
Terraria, that's only because I went back to play the game like 5 times. Vermintide 2 was playing a lot of Gary's mod. All those hours were on before SFM. I never touched that in a while. And then it kind of just goes down from there. Click Heroes 2. It's fun, but it still was early.
Considering Satisfactory hasn't been out that long on Steam, the fact that you've already got that many hours into it is impressive.
Well, yeah, but there's some days where I just let it sit, so it was making stuff that I needed. So, this is one of my favorite MMOs. The problem is, if I go to store page, it doesn't exist anymore. The game was bought by another company, and then they started taking it in an awkward direction and took it from fun to destroying it completely, to where then the whole player base left and there was nothing left, so they had to shut down the servers. And the game was still active the entire time. It was just, but it was a third-person kind of a shooter, and it was just fun. I really, really enjoyed that game.
I think I do remember playing that game. I played it for like 10 minutes, and then I didn't play it no more. I bounced around it for like a day.
Do I have?
It was going to be the next big MMO because it was like most MMOs before Firefall were like World of Warcraft, where things weren't as...
Yeah, was this...
Yeah, I played it a bit.
No, it was...
I didn't get super into it, but I played it.
Oh, this is just me farming materials, so I'm trying to find a place. Because you would do the little mining thing, find a good spot, drop the mine there, and enemies would attack it. But it was just fun. I really enjoyed it. I played it for a long time. The cool thing with that game was the... when you leveled up a class, you would unlock certain like skill set things, and some of them would be unlocked account wide. So then you would go and play another character, and you could utilize that skills from that character on some of them. And so as you played more and more characters and you unlocked more and more of their sets, you could start making these hybrid builds. And I got to the point with this one build where I just was able to give him all these super boosts in one very specific area, and it was fun. I really enjoyed it. That question, is animation a full-time thing for you? No. I have a normal 40-hour week job that I do.
Sells vacuum cleaners.
No. No, I'm a quality analyst during the day, working from home for right now. But animation is just whenever I feel like it, really. The streaming is the only scheduled time I have for it. And then conventions, kind of. But it just depends. Like, sometimes I want to make a Rathlos thing, so I make some stuff for that. But my there's no full-time. To make that full-time, I would have to make probably like 30 to 40 times what I'm doing right now to make it viable. And I would to be able to increase it that much, I would be having to drastically increase the stuff that I do, and I have it as a hobby. I don't want to destroy it as a hobby. How many? Okay, no, you already said that. What map do you use for the Fruitless Effort shorts? It's a map from Dear Esther.
Good game.
I don't remember the name of the specific one. There's only like 5 maps from there. You can get all the files from it online if you just search around for Dear Esther SFM. Somebody just has it as a full download for it, and then it's one of the cave shots. And then I definitely, modified a couple things for those shots with the lighting and whatever. But I love using that for cave. Well, alco. Like for instance, it's not there. Yeah, this one. So this is when I was working on the Ember video. This is also from the same map. It just had a lot of detail, and all the bump maps that were on it and the way that the lighting worked was just pretty. And you could do a lot with it and not have to do much work to it to make it fit your need. The problem with pre-made maps like this, though, are you have to work within their limits. That's why I like scene builds, because I can like break out the wall behind me and fit in space-wise, and if I don't want some of these things here, I can remove them. That's why I kind of like doing my own thing. But yeah, all these was a pre-made map. The crystals like I put in, but everything else was actual pre-made.
The best ending.
Oh yeah, with the oh no, we need the music for this because it's epic.
I remember when you started working on this video. Who would have thought I would have come to this? Careful, Mike. Yes. You finally make a boop video. And it's not a pony. Help me help you by
what is this
having
like
more
for?
boop videos.
Oh, I probably loaded that one for something else. So I'm just kind of with this shot, I want to kind of get the lighting figured out, because that's really the majority of what's left in this shot. So I do need to try to match it a bit with this shot. So we have... Ugh. Okay, so the majority of the light's coming from her right, and it's pretty mute. Okay. Problem is she has the turning camera, so I'm gonna have to base it on what it looks like at this shot, and then try to make it work for the others. Okay, because like here, I can have this be a nice, well that's still too bright, but as soon as it comes around here to here, it's too much. So I'd probably have to keep this more balanced. And I can have a moving rim light, but if you don't do it right, then you can basically look like there's like a shine. Because a shiny object is going to have a sharper, brighter rim that as you go around it always seems to be at the rim of it. And so if I move it with her, it can make her feel shiny for some reason. And not matte like she should be.
You think you're going to do to stop me? Stop me. Do to stop me.
So like right now, the rim on this side is too bright, but I'm thinking the problem is...
You're going to do to stop me.
No, that is the right rim. So it's... Right now, this is just too blue. So I need to bring down the blue on that.
More blue.
We'll do that, and then I'm going to increase that. I don't know if I'm going to need too ambient. We'll do that. Is there an eye light here? Yes, there was. It's just out of the shot. Ah, there we go. Yeah, that helps a lot. Her eyes just felt really dark. Kind of like the give it a little bit of a glow. Might increase that a little bit. Kind of nifty. You need to go brighter. Actually, no, you're just gonna go closer. There we go. Even between these shots, I feel like she's a little brighter in this one. No.
I think she would get brighter the closer the rocket would get.
No, because then no, I don't want to have any of that because it's implied that the rocket isn't or doesn't come there. So if I suddenly have the light of the rocket come up and then it disappears, we don't have to go for ultra realism, Michael. There's a rocket that was hurtling at her at the speed of sound and then suddenly just disappears before reappearing again.
Shot a dog at her.
Shot through the dog. And you're too late.
Yes. Poor puppers. I would
Wait,
be
you're
sad
saying
if
poor
it-
Spike?
I mean, yeah, that's the problem. I feel sorry for the puppers, but it's Spike, so I don't feel sorry. 'Cause Spike's dumb. You know, I'm gonna admit something that I might regret, but...
Stop.
Huh?
You didn't like my John Bon Jovi, apparently.
I was, playing a Pony Life board game with my parents recently, and there's a part where you get to pick a pet from, like, you reach a point and they say pick a pet, and you got like Owlicious and Gummy and Winona and stuff, and my mother, and she asked, where's Spike? I want Spike as a pet. And I had to explain to her that he's not a pet, but he kinda is.
He's a pet.
He's a pet. Yes.
See?
They just didn't offer him as a pet in the game for some reason.
Oh, I had to be careful. I have spike now. I can't make the eyes that bright.
They need to reflect his soul.
Oh, and I probably should make this a little bluer. But because his eyes are like stupid bright. Well, that's actually not too bad. I guess
it's not bad. It's just in comparison to her eyes, which are just deep, dark, black pits. Now they're glowing. Oh, now that's rave. Oh, that's freaky.
Demon dog.
It's true. And nothing of value was lost.
She does get hit too.
Yeah. I feel like it would piss off more people saying nothing of value was lost. That sunset got hit, then people would be upset about Spike. Looks like it.
Fucking bitch. For like just that 1/2 second, you can just see her head just go. I love it.
Uh-oh.
All right. How did you learn to use SFM? Time. That's really the best teacher. There's definitely places to start, but a lot of my stuff started well before SFM. Like I did a lot of photography and cinematography type work and other things as a hobby, and I just kind of learned those things for a while, and then I learned the source engine through Gmod, and so when I got into SFM, I already had a basic knowledge of a lot of stuff. But to learn SFM, tutorials that will help teach you the interface, and then it's just make things. That's really the best way to learn things. I didn't look up much information on how to animate. I just did it. It just was. I always went off the rule of if it feels uncanny valley, change it, and then just keep doing it until it just feels okay. So, but it's just time. You can't expect to just like have a couple lessons and then be right off on the way. It's always just going to take time to do stuff.
Have you ever seen the movie The Matrix? They just You've never seen the movie The Matrix?
No, I never. I'm not. No, I know where you're going with it, and I'm saying no.
Yes, that's how it happened.
It doesn't work that way.
Everything else he told
you know,
was BS.
if you want, you can go and like grind up a floppy disk and go and put it in a shake.
all 1.5 megabits up here, man.
It's 1.44.
Oh, if I had the right floppy, I'd know that.
And it's not megabits, it's megabytes. Megabits is 1/8.
Yes.
See, that's why you had a problem, because you didn't even get the 1.44. You only got 1/8 of it. You got gypped. Somebody sold you a megabit drive.
My brain, it's small. Oh, it's got like a cat face. Look at that. It's like meow. Megabyte. That sounds like a breakfast cereal.
Oh,
Megabyte
meow.
bits. Get it in the morning. Megabyte bits. That's what he said. I'm like, this sounds like a breakfast cereal.
Megabyte bits?
I like this breakfast cereal.
Is that like a pickup line? Hey baby, you want a big old bowl of Mega Mike bits?
No.
Well,
a taste of garlic.
My favorite internet.
It's the first garlic.
My favorite thing
breakfast cereal.
is if you search the why is Michael so stupid?
No.
What? Oh no.
It's gone.
I think it's just why is Michael stupid? Yeah, there it is. And then it comes up with his actual full name. It's a big stupid fight.
Yeah, I feel like your favorite thing.
It is. It is, because I was doing it as a joke, and then the joke paid off.
What does it say if I put in, why is Andrew stupid?
Why is Andrew stupid? The party prince. I am the party prince.
No. You can't.
Prince Andrew. So all these are talking about me being a prince.
I saw a good one.
Oh, look, it's gone.
No.
Nope. See, you're a big, fat, stupid white man, and I'm a prince.
You're the party prince. No.
Formula who just got a few tutorials, super helpful for beginners. Yeah, there's tons of people that went out and did tutorials. Some of the best to me to actually go to are just the Source Filmmaker tutorials on the Source Filmmaker channel. There's kind of like 13 or 14 different numbered versions or numbered levels of it. The first like 4 will give you information that means nothing. It's going to be like, what does the record button do, which is specific to using TF2s and TF2 engine, some of the stuff like that. But it teaches you what the buttons do. And to me, when you get into a new anything, learning to navigate is the hardest part. So if it's taking the time to figure out what all the buttons do, so that you're not trying to figure it out and look up information about, well, how do I do this? Because that just takes extra time away from being able to work on stuff. If you can get to the point where you're not trying to do that, then you can spend all that brain power that you've been spending trying to figure out what buttons to click and where to go and how to get this there and whatnot. And you can spend that brain power instead, like figuring out how to optimize your use of certain things, or to just in making things. I don't think what buttons I hit anymore. If you were telling me what buttons I have to hit for fall offs, I can't remember if it's like the W and E keys or the numbers. I just know that if I put my hands on the keyboard and I go and click things, it happens. And you want to get to that point where it's muscle memory. She agrees. She's like, oh yeah.
She looks like a poster for "I want you to clean my litter box."
Nah.
Yes, she looks like a litter box. She got like a cat vibe. I was like, what you doing? That's so much better than just pointing. Oh no.
It didn't work so well when I have the hands open.
Just start flipping them off.
See, I thought that this was gonna be like this. She'd just be like, fuck you.
Yay.
Okay, there we go. And do know that if you're not just SFM, but if you're like, I want to animate something, don't jump into animation right away. Animation is just about making poses and then blending a pose with another pose. Make pictures first. Spend your time trying to figure that pictures out, because you can... Animation, if you start going wrong with it, it can start going badly wrong and hard to go back and fix. But pictures are great because you can change anything at any time. It helps you learn composing, and once you can learn how to pose and make somebody in a certain position or whatever, all the animation is taking that pose, making another pose, and then moving it to that pose. So the big first step is always posing, and so make pictures. And my favorite way to do it is to find an existing picture with Pony and try to replicate it. You're going to find that the 3D models do not have the same flexibility as drawing does, for obvious reasons. But you're going to have to break bones and push and manipulate things to get them to work. And it starts getting you out of the comfort zone, which is a thing that most animators will do early on. And what I did definitely for the first couple of years I was working on it, where you think that the only thing that should move on a model is the rotation of a bone, where you like on the head here, where you think that the head should only move pivoting from that point, when that's not the case actually. Yeah, it doesn't actually feel right to have their neck being snapped up and down, but it is useful, especially with the Pony models. If you want to get them into certain sitting positions, you're going to have to break the bones quite heavily and into some pretty nasty positions to get them to work. And getting yourself out of the comfort zone of only doing rotations early on helps. I like doing it where, like, you can actually see here the The white line is rotation, and then the colored lines that are either green, blue, or red are position changes. So you can actually see here with this green line being a change in that position. Right here, oh, let me put her back, you know, not weird. When she goes to lift her head there, I actually have the head drop down, and it helps give more bounce to the model. Yeah, that's not realistic. A real person wouldn't have their head do that, but we're not working with real people. We're working in basically a cartoon, which you can break some rules with. And so I do that all the time. I think even the her shoulders. Yeah, so you can see here, I took her shoulders and I actually pulled them up and down because it's her clavicle. And you can even see here, you can take and move your clavicle up and down. So because I don't have a collar here, normally a model for this would have a shoulder bone or a clavicle bone and then your shoulder bone, which would allow you that the rotation from, let's make sure it's on camera, the rotation from here and then the rotation from here, because that's two different points. This model doesn't have that. So I pivot from this point and then I physically move it for the second bone. And that's my way of doing it because of the restriction. I think my problem right now is she's reacting to this before Spike gets to her. You can see she's actually starting to go into position before Spike gets there.
Well, you would think maybe she caught something out of her peripheral when she was reacting to it. That's all that could be. That's all I interpret.
No, because then I would have to have her fully reacting. It's the same thing. If somebody throws something at you and you see it out of your peripheral, you're going to like dodge a little bit or react. I don't want to deal with that. I'd rather have her be like a badass and think something hit her and she just kind of was seemed unfazed. I mean, a nuke hitting her is different. She just kind of dies. But I want to have it so at this point is when she starts moving. Well, actually, I think it's right here. What? Not that. This. Nope, it is right here. Okay. So we're gonna grab. Oh, we're gonna grab her face too. So I need to have it so that she doesn't move until. So she starts moving here. And I need to have it here. So in this point, I have 2 frames that I have to shift. We'll do. So her head still starts moving a little bit. Either that, or I have to have her head snapped more the other direction. See if I take her eyes. So you like here, if I move her head to have her look, you can't even see her eyes anyway. So I'd have to have her head like lean a little bit.
Feel the humidity dropping.
Hmm?
I can feel the humidity dropping.
Dropping?
Feels like it's dropping. It's getting ready to rain. Like it doesn't look, but I almost feel like it's getting ready to rain. I almost can like smell it somewhere.
Okay, I just got an email that says I got a $10 credit at Amazon because I won something. I'm like, okay, that doesn't sound legit.
It says congratulations, you won.
No, it means that if it is legitimate, I can claim the offer through the website. I don't need to go through an email. So it's from the legit thing, but anything like that can be spoofed. Oh yeah, I was gonna check the weather.
No, I was just do that.
Oh, thanks for the follow. Oh my God, why is this a thing? Okay, no, took me a second to read that one. No, it's supposed to rain tomorrow. The temperature's supposed to jump down pretty quick, though. No, it's not supposed to rain till 2 o'clock tomorrow.
Okay. It's all in my head, then.
But if a breeze comes through, if the humidity's higher, you sweat a little bit, then a breeze comes through, it takes the sweat away, and you cool down quick, so it's going to feel like it's...
Humidity is down to 40%. That's pretty good.
40%? Right now? Mm-hmm. Feels a little more humid in here, but that's just because of the evening. So, you ever get annoyed with the sounds? If you're talking about, working in SFM, not anymore, actually. It's... I don't hear them anymore, so sometimes I kind of forget that I should mute those sounds because I know that for some people it's hearing the same thing. The music helps. But the one thing that it's helped me do is I now like I'll put on one song in the afternoon and I'll listen to the same song for 8 hours. Like if I'm gaming or something. For two reasons. One, SFM kind of just got me used to listening to the same things over and over and over and over and over again, and to the point where it feels like a dopamine hit to keep listening to the same thing, because I'm like, even though I might not be progressing work on something, I might feel like it gives me the feeling like I am, even though I'm not. Also, it helps me get into flow, and flow being where it's that state of your mind where everything kind of shuts down around you, and you kind of just, everything goes on automatic, and your brain is like 100% focused on something. You can get so much done when you're doing that. And to me, if I keep listening to lots and lots of different types of music, it feels like it keeps pulling me out of it. But if I listen to the same song over and over and over again, it just helps the world shut down and focus into a point. And I can get so much done. I can get like an hour of work done in 10 minutes. Just all these squeak noises from the loud epic orchestral background. It's just wonderful. Sure. I mean, we can make it kind of creepy.
You're good at that.
There we go. How's this?
It seems like a more appropriate noise for Spike. Like a dying duck sound. Gotta put him a little off. Yes. There you go.
Wait, we gotta have one of these like. Oh wait, no, we gotta have one when she turns. There, like here.
All sound effects with that noise.
No, when he smiles, there we go.
Yes. Why is his mouth open? Are you having him say hi or something?
I just added it.
Oh. You guys should just have him say hi there.
Well, that sounds like a goat got ran over and you're watching it as it slowly breathes its last breath.
Yes.
It's like those inflatable chickens. Yeah, is it the Duck Army? Well, what did they call that?
It was like the big inflatable gooses or something.
Yeah, but they had a name for it.
They're rubber chickens, essentially.
Yeah, but there was a name for it. Like it was the Duck Army of the Goose. I can't remember.
I just remember a big bin of honker things.
Adam Savage loved those things so much that he made like different bombs of them. One of them was something. It was like he had them super compressed in something, and then he made like this whole device to go around them after they were compressed, and he could like pull it out, and all of them would go at once. And it was such an amazing, like, he was just testing it once, but he muted the audio at the beginning because he wanted to wait for the perfect one. And so the whole thing is just perfectly silent. All you see is him pull it, and in silence, just him laughing his ass off for like a good 30 seconds, and it just kept going. And then afterwards, he's like, "Oh!" It was great. He loves those things. I think he's done 2 different bombs of it. Oh, this
I just kind of want you to have him say hi there. Like, hi.
I think it undid. I think I accidentally went back too far in my undoing though, and lost.
Did you control Y?
That's Microsoft's method. Everybody else uses Control-Shift-Z. Microsoft is, I think, they're the only person that still does Control-Y. It doesn't make any sense to have to go all the way across the keyboard to go redo, undo. Adobe, I like theirs because theirs Control-Z is a toggle. All it does is undo, redo, back and forth. So you can just keep hitting it over and over and over again. If you have to hit like Control-Shift-Z to actually go backwards. It's neat. I like their method. But if you can undo so far, but if you undo to a point and then you do any action, it removes all the history from forward. And I must have done that, so that's fine. It wasn't much.
It was worth it to hear the dog go wow.
Wah.
He's Waluigi now. He's the right color. It's true.
Do you know where I'm supposed to be putting these Dear Esther files? It depends on what the files look like. What I recommend, especially since there's a lot of files for that and they're kind of all in like one game, it's kind of a multi-step thing, and really, by the time you actually fully understand how the file structure works for SFM, it's too late. But you can drop everything in user mod, but if you do that, don't do it. You will create a single folder that has everything in it, and that's not really good for backup, and it's messy. So what you can do instead is make its own game folder. So what I would recommend is what I did for that one is make a folder called Dear Esther, or really whatever you want to call it. And inside of that, you should see certain folders. You should see materials, models, particles, a lot of what probably matches on here. Do know that inside inside the materials folder is usually a folder called models. Don't start extracting whatever the folder structure that comes as is. Don't play with that. So make a folder within a Source Filmmaker and then game called Dear Esther or D-Esther or my favorite game. I don't care what you call it. And what that does is it allows you to load that library separately, but then you can disable that library if you don't need the models for some reason and you get maxed out or something. I wish I would have done that more early on because I now have too many models and most of them are under that one location, so I can't shut things on and off. So you put it in that folder, this one, and then inside of your user mod folder, there's a file called gameinfo.txt. And then you just have to add that to the list of stuff that's loaded. So if you go down here, I already have some disabled because if I enable everything, I am unable to use SFM. So I kind of go through and just turn off things that I'm not using. Where you put it in this list kind of matters, but it kind of doesn't. If you're adding a custom one, I would probably just shove it probably somewhere like towards the bottom. It loads from the top down. So if it runs into a conflict as it goes down the list. The newer one towards the bottom is going to override the top one, so that's where some of the order matters. But just I would put it above workshop at least, but like somewhere between this, because Dota I think is one that I added. So these are the ones that came with SFM, and then these are the ones that also came with SFM. But Workshop and, well, Mega Pack and Duplicates and Test are separate thing, I guess. But keep Workshop at the bottom. But yeah, just shove it in there. So just, well, actually, you can see exactly how I have it. Just like this. Game, and then the name of that folder, whatever you name the folder. Duplicates and Tests was stuff where I wanted to play with the exact same model, but I didn't want to override my current model, and I didn't want to rename it because that gets messy too. So I made a separate game file so I could play with it. That should then let you load that game. If that doesn't work, you can just drop everything and merge it into your game info or your user mod. But I don't like that method. And sorry, Crazy. Well, you gotta go sleep really late for me. Thanks for the help. Wish you much success with your work. I wish me my success, Will. I wish you a good night's sleep.
I promise not to delete the file in his sleep.
Where's the file?
On the computer.
Where on the computer?
I'm gonna delete the whole thing.
That's not a file.
All the files. I'm not gonna do that. That would make me a horrible person.
And plus, you have to figure out which hard drive it is. I got 5 in there.
Everything is deleted with a hammer.
No, actually, it isn't. You'd have to actually delete everything. You would need a magnet.
Yes. Okay. Fine. Thank you for your help in this endeavor.
Well, no. Now I just know that if you go through all that it was you.
Yeah. I want to see this finished. Why would I do this? This sounds like an awful...
I know why you want it finished.
Just for Spike.
You want more Spike.
Yes. I did
Oh,
have
look, he's got a little nose.
I had a really good idea just now. That's actually a legit have nostril. Would you eat?
I think. Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna do. I need to move her eyes. Eyes. Okay, it's too quick. She needs her head turned a bit more. So you drop them in the game folder. So you make a folder in game called whatever you're looking to make it. DRS, there's probably just an easy way to do it. So it should be along other folders like Workshop. You can ignore these because these are error files as far as I know. But it should like just see user mod, Workshop, TF movies, TF. Some of these other ones are extra ones that I added. So you just had to have another one with that, like this one that says DRS, and then drop everything inside that folder to where it should look nearly identical to what this does, because it's the same files. Another reason too I say to download the one from online is if you download your Esther from the actual game from Steam, those files don't actually convert perfectly to SFM. The ones that you download from online are ones that were fixed to work with SFM. So even if you have the game, normally you can just grab all the files from it, drop in here, and it works. I've done that with a lot of things. Pirates, Vikings, and Kings is one. Some of the Portal ones. That is not one. So yeah. Hmm?
It's not wood burning.
As long as it's not our wood. Where I put the eye before was only where it looked like she was looking at him, but I'm hitting the edge of what the eye would move to, so as soon as I move the head, it allowed more of that flexibility and range. Now I have to move it again. Okay, when she closes her eyes, her eyebrows go up. I don't like that. So I need to figure out how to keep those down. Do they have their own bones? They do not. Let's spike. There we go. Actually, this will do it. Kinda. I've been thinking about taking this song and just like a part of the chorus, because this what is it? I forgot her name. I love this singer. Yeah, Alexa Ray. She sounds so much like Starlight Glimmer, like almost exact, in a singing voice. And I think that it would just be fun to just do a really, really short bit from like the chorus with her singing. Doing the full song would just be another giant project I'm never going to finish, so don't want to do that. Yeah, that's about the best I'm going to do for dropping it, because if I go any further than that, I guess I can go to about there, maybe. But anything more than that, and I'm not able to like really affect that end bit. Her eyes open too fast. I also think that when she does that, she should start going back and do a squint. Like she's angry. She's You get used to it. That's what I said earlier when I was talking about like learning SFM, where a lot of what I learned, I knew a lot of the stuff before I even started SFM, and that's because that's the case. When I was playing with Gmod way back, I had worked on converting models and I knew the file structure already. So that was one less thing I had to think about when I started. If you go back, like me open it up on YouTube, but if you go way back on my channel, like 2009, no, 2010 or 11, there's a bunch of stuff from Gmod in there where I was playing with models from an MMO I used to play called A Rivals, Ace Online, or Space Cowboy, or Fedoi. I don't know, there's like 8,000 names for that game. But that was where I learned it. Actually, I still have I still have the models from it. I actually used one of them as a plane for the Alishai 2 video because I needed a jet, and so I used one of the ones from that MMO. And I had one comment from somebody on that video that stated that that was the what I used it from. Pretty sure it's Binder or Defender. Is that or Binder? Oh wait, that was. Yeah, there. Actually, that worked. It was air rifle, so I was thinking I might have put an AR slash. So yeah, these are. It was a game with spaceships, and so like these are the A gears, which were the tanks. It's not loaded on here right now, but normally would have a mount and then a cannon that would be put on top of that. So this is another one of these are just versions of the same thing. That's tiger armor. Quellies is one of my. This was a boss drop. The Masquerade, Metal Jacket. Metal Jacket was a pretty cool one, but it wasn't really good. I played. Where's my M gear? Oh, it's probably further down. It's alphabetical order. I played M gear. Like that skin, but I never used it. I used that skin for quite a while. Not the Orca. And that one wasn't good. I'm sad because it looks cool. Yeah, this was the one I used for the longest time. Only because it was the best armor for the level range that I had. So, but that game was fun. It was, M-Gear was the, it was tank and healer all rolled into one. So the I gear was the fast rocket shooting interceptor. It has pretty neat skins. This is, I think, the one I used for the video. No, I think, was it this one? It was one of those for the Alishai video. But the I gear was the interceptor that would chase people down. B gear was the bomber class, usually had reverse wings, and it would just do bombs, and they were assholes. Tank was a ground-based, would deploy on the ground and could shoot really fast, but then couldn't move. And then me, which was the tank and the tank healer all in one. So I couldn't kill anybody, but I could make sure other people could. So it was fun. I played that for about a year and a half. It actually is what got me into PC gaming. So if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't have learned Source. I wouldn't have gotten into PC gaming. I probably would not be doing this. So, and it taught me web development because I built a calculator for it, and web development then got me to go to college for web development, which then led me to my current job, which is heavy on web development focus. So yeah, gaming got me to where I am in life. Okay, so there, right there, is a flash of light. So there is a light that is coming in, and it is only interacting with Spike, kinda. There it is. Usually just means increase the min of the max. Is that the right one? There we go. Anyway, you can read up on this stuff. I wouldn't be able to point you to a specific location because most of what I learned was self-taught, or I just Googled it as I had questions. Like converting models, it took me a long time to learn what tools are needed and everything. Yeah, a lot of it was just like Googling and hoping I found the answers I needed. Otherwise, I just know I'm pretty good with computer stuff, so I kind of just, I'm able to stumble through a lot of it, and then when I do hit a snag, I just Google the snag, So I learned by just trying to make the structure in my head on my own, and then filling in the gaps based on what I can Google. But yeah, I'm not. Back from when I was doing Gmod days, I probably would have been able to give you better links, but I don't remember any of them now. But you really don't even need to worry about that file structure stuff. Yeah, getting Dear Esther in is, if you're looking for specific things, yeah, you're gonna have to go and probably do some manipulating and stuff. But for the most part, you can do a lot in SFM without having to worry about any of that background stuff. Like today, I haven't actually touched any of that like detailed things. I'm still doing most of it right now. But if I want to start playing with textures or custom models or something, then yes. But I always stay away from those as much as I can, because custom models, you're spending hours and hours and hours to make something that may only be used for like a second. So that's where I don't really like doing that. I only commission models for something if I desperately can't complete it with the models that I have, or need something very specific. For instance, the windows that were in Remembrance and the ground circle that were in Remembrance. The ground circle was made by the Fourth Aggie, which is a friend of mine, and then the windows were made by Bearded Doom Guy, who's also a friend of mine. And those I needed very specific things, and they made them based on what I was needing. And thankfully they were generous and they got to do them for free. But they've also made it as a public download. But those were just because I had no options other than that, and they offered so. And they turned out great. Okay, so gotta have her kind of squinting. Come on. Turn that down. So you gotta be careful, because when she closing her eyes, she's closing the lower eye too, and that's gonna be rough. So I probably need to do lower here, but then that doesn't really look angry. So I'm probably gonna have to have her close like this. But then when I do that, I'm gonna have to also have her kind of turn her head down so that it doesn't. Yeah, that's a bit better. And then for her face, she needs to be angry. Or like, she's rawr. This is gonna be very scary. Rawr. Rawr. Her lips up. Oh, there. Why is Spike not locked to her anymore? You should be. Oh, because you locked her there. Okay. I just wasn't grabbing the right bones. Yeah, right on the edge there. Do that as she work. She has a look. She wants to rip his head out. Perfect. That's what I want. And hello, clumsy. No, that is what I was hoping for. So perfect. So thank you for making you think that I was going for murder. Because I was going for murder. Yes, hello. How was your day been? I wasn't even paying attention to what I was at. Where's your fingers? There they are. You worked on your day off. Hey, as long as you're getting paid extra for it. Salary would suck. Good. Normally, or I get every other Friday off, and this wasn't my off Friday, so it was just made for a longer week, because then I work a longer week to make up the difference. But no, it went well. It's been a pretty slow day. But it was good. Been a nice day out. It feels humid right now, but it's not that it's humid, it's just evening gets stale. Oh, looking forward to a good weekend. Have nothing planned tomorrow. We're planning to go to Sociables, which is the local cidery here, on Sunday, because the weather's supposed to be like 73 Fahrenheit. Whatever, that's room temperature in Celsius. It's supposed to be that on Sunday. I forgot it was stream day. How dare you? Just to drop all other work and come immediately here. No, I'm I'm good though. The one I'm kind of looking forward to right now is there's a game I was waiting to have come out on today called Fate Tactics, and it came out today, and so I'm happy about that. So I got to play a little bit already. It's Final Fantasy Tactics meets Pokemon, kind of. Yeah, that's a pretty good apt description. But it's very, very much Final Fantasy Tactics, but as a single person, and you have your main group, but otherwise you summon the rest of your group based on cards from monsters that you've captured. So it's but it's good. It's only $20, which is good. But it is, if you like Final Fantasy Tactics, it is what it is. The strategy for it has seemed to be a little bit more focused on strategy, or at least planning ahead than Tactics was. That list. What list? Only 80%. I'm surprised. I thought it'd be higher than that. And it's by Endless Fluff. I love that game. I love that name. Oh, my games library. Well, okay, so there's one thing that's sad with this. So, does this look like a lot of games to you? Does it look like there's a lot on that list? Just a quick question. Because I'm guessing that the normal answer would be, yeah, that looks like a lot of games. Well, okay. This is only 339. The junk pile is the other half of the games that I normally won't play. So this is the other half of the library. So the library that you saw was only uncategorized and below. But I went through the list before and I took out games that I know I'm never going to play because I got them in a pack with Humble Bundle or some other things. Or for instance, I'm one of my favorite places to buy games is Green Man Gaming, and because from how I understand how Steam works, the Steam stuff works, if you buy a game on Steam, 30% goes to Steam, but the developer is given basically a large amount of keys that they can sell to other locations, and Steam doesn't get a cut from those. So they can sell them to websites like this for, say, 10% of the price off, and then this place only gets, say, 10%, and then they get the other 90. That's how, from what I've read, that it works. So the way I see it is if I buy stuff here, Steam gets a cut on the sales from there, but if I buy here, they get a larger cut to the developer. At least that's how I think it works. But the sales tend to be better on Green Man too. Not every game is on there though. Faye was not on there, so I had to buy it through this Steam or Humble Bundle because that's who developed or runs it. But it's a good shop. And the cool thing is I bought enough stuff on there that I'm a gold member. So I get extra sales, and like Horizon Zero Dawn, I can get 16% off it even though it's not out yet. Avengers, I can get 20% off even though that's not out yet. And then once a week they give you a free game, so that adds up too. And they're not even cheap games; they're like $20 games. Or like here, Death Stranding, it's pretty new, 20% off, and I get an extra 25% off that. So I like their website. But I've been on Steam long enough. If you look at my recent purchases, I haven't really bought that many in the last year. Most of these were within a short period of time. You buy a Humble Bundle that comes with 20 games, and you paid like $20. That's where it adds up. But I have cleaned this out because there's just like Arma 2. I think I got that originally in a pack, or I got it because of DayZ. Never gonna play it again. I think the Ball I got is a Humble Bundle, but again I got it for something else. It just came with it. Bomber Crew is one that was interesting. I've considered looking into. But yeah, I'm never gonna play these. Though I think I have Oh, it's Spartan Assault. Halo Wars is one that I actually do want to try playing again sometime, because I played Spartan Assault and it wasn't the same. Do I have Halo Wars? See, I have too many games. I don't even know what I have. No, I don't. Though the Master Chief Collection is an amazing collection. Yeah, and there's sales. Sometimes there's stuff that's on sale, sometimes it isn't. I usually go back and forth between Steam, Green Man Gaming, and Humble Bundle. You can go on GOG and stuff, but I still like Steam, so that's why I don't. GOG normally wouldn't get a Steam key, or not always anyway. I haven't really looked into it. I just want it for the story. Have you played Ori? No, I have not. Do I own it? See, I don't even know. Guess I can do a search, but that's not as fun. I do not, but I have seen it. I've actually, I don't know if somebody had asked actually that within the last week or two. I can't remember who though. But yeah, so I own those at like, well, I mean, if you could there's like 5 or 6 different softwares mixed in there, but it's like 650 games or something. But I only play so many of them. Like we've been playing Borderlands 3 a bit. Enter the Gungeon's just a fun one to play every now and then. I have way too many hours in that game. Yeah, almost 100 for what it is. Just started Faye. Grim Dawn is fun. I go back to that every now and then. Haven't finished Half-Life Alyx yet, so I have to do that. Me and a friend have been playing through Halo 3, and we're thinking about doing it on a stream. Hand of Fate 2 is also really fun. I didn't get that far into it. I need to go back to that. I always keep the Jackbox Party Packs installed because if people come over. I've been wanting to play Life is Strange. I got it for like $2. Monster Hunter is always a good one. Monster Train is really fun. That's deck builder, kind of like if you like Slay the Spire, get that. It's really good. It's exactly the same game, just with some cool different mechanics and better endgame. Plague Tale I got a while ago and still need to play. Risk of Rain 2 is a good multiplayer. Satisfactory is addicting as hell. So some of these that I installed, I just have it there because, like Warframe, I've been wanting to jump into that for fun because I played it when it was in beta. Was it like probably a decade ago now? Yeah, I haven't really looked. I know Ori by the picture, like the starting picture for the menus and stuff. That's about it. I don't know anything more than that on it. But I like it like that. I love going into things sometimes knowing that it's good, but not knowing anything about it. Because sometimes I'm really good at reading into things and figuring out twists, and so if I think too much on things, I figure it out and I ruin it for myself. So I prefer to jump in not knowing and then just try to keep my mind focused on the moment, and it's way more fun that way. That's one of the things like that Horizon Zero Dawn was great for, and some different books I've read. Yeah. Nice thing with books is it's hard to have your brain wander. Okay, she kind of like just stops moving when she gets to the end point here. I have to keep making sure to unselect unknown. What is this right here? Oh, that's her hand, isn't it? Can you see that? Yeah, actually a little bit. How was your nap? It was a legit nap. Stamps!
Yes.
Oh, look at, they're pretty!
They're Christmas stamps. They're forever stamps. So they're good.
That's what my previous ones were. They were the illegal stamps.
Oh, yeah.
The lawsuit stamps.
Those are far less interesting, but they will get your mail to where it needs to go. So
That's the important thing.
yeah.
Probably want to have her maybe like dip down a little bit. Yeah, actually, that kind of adds a nice little bounce. Maybe have her head dip a little bit too.
Do you want to talk the hand to the dog now?
She's gonna Z-snap him to death. Like, she goes so fast that she just creates like a whirlwind. And she does that. That's actually, she does that in the show. That's how she does it. You don't see it because it's so fast of a Z-snap. But then she just like, it's like
She
like,
unleashes her powers.
you know how like a whip is like, it makes the snap because it breaks the sound barrier at the end? That's how her snaps work. She's like, bam. Yeah. It's murderous snap.
Murder snaps.
Murder snaps, yes.
I want that power.
They were making fun of my game library earlier.
Oh, because it's got so much stuff.
Yeah. Well, they thought that this was a lot, and then I said that that was only half of it.
You do have a lot.
I play all of them.
You do not.
No, I don't.
No one does. Nobody buys Steam games to play them. They buy them so that they can add them to the horde.
Yes, it's for Gabe Newell is Professor Oak. And I'm just catching all the Pokemon for him.
He's just storing them for you.
Is it like Pokemon Go 2? If I send the game in there, they'll just grind it up and make it into a candy. They kind of do.
I forgot they did
Oh no,
that.
no, they do it. No, they do it. If I have a
I totally forgot that was a thing.
yeah.
Pokemon.
No.
They grind the candy.
In here, if you grind down a card, you get candy.
Yay!
So yes, it is.
Just Pokemon.
Did I ever finish this one?
Well, it has 3.
Yeah, I had to have because it would have gotten more than that. If I'm really big into a game, I'll usually get all the cards for it. I think I did Halo before too.
I never paid attention to cards.
I have all these, but they have like, I don't know why they don't merge them. I can't. There was a reason, and I figured it out, but now I can't remember what it is. And I love this one. Unknown package 46480.
You should add it to your library.
I can't because it's for Firefall.
No.
They had a sale at one time where you would get a month subscription for like half off plus some other bonuses. Mm-hmm. But I was in the middle of a subscription at the time, but you could buy it and gift it. So I bought it, gifted it to myself, or I kept it in my inventory as a gift so that when my month was up, I was just going to open it up so that I could get another month. Well, the problem was something happened or some stuff went on, and I just didn't go back to playing it before that month was up, and so it sat here, and so it's still sitting there. But since the game is gone and no longer exists, and the servers are down, it eventually just named it to Unknown Package 46480.
Wow.
It sounds like there's some drugs in there or something. But I have a copy of Defense Grid's DLC and Defense Grid.
Have you ever played it?
Yeah, I own it.
Okay.
But I have a copy that I can send somebody. I have Don't Starve Together. I have a copy of that. I have a copy of Frozen Synops Prime, Portal 2, and State of Decay. They're the full game.
Now I kind of want to go back and play Defense Grid again.
I love tower defense games, and that's why I played Dungeon Defenders for so long.
I've never played Dungeon Defenders.
I
love Defense Grid.
Dungeon Defenders is a third-person tower defense game where it's your like goblins and everything that go to attack, and then you have 4 different classes that can place different traps, and then you're building a defense to prevent them from reaching your Eternity Crystal. But the game can get insanely hard, and that's why I ended up leveling up every different character, because then you could just, at the beginning of the match, you basically have infinite time to set up. So I would just jump around between characters, reloading characters in, and just building up this full defense thing. And some of them were like, oh, you got to move that over about 1/4 of an inch, otherwise you're not going to hit that person just right corner of that wall. And it was fun. It was super fun. And you could play 4-person on it as multiplayer.
Do you remember Defense Grid did like a cooperative thing with Valve for like a Portal expansion? Did you ever play that? We were fighting GLaDOS.
Yeah, I think I remember that.
I think the expansion was called You Monster. sec. I got dog.
I was thinking of having him look down at the hand, but I feel like that's too much action right before the rocket hits. So I think I'm just going to have him stare. But to do it, I have to fade out the end of his action here, because he kind of just hits the end of his motion and then he's like no longer moving. So I'm going to do this, pick that spot, and then I'm going to play ahead just a little bit to help keep some motion going. And then grab his upper face, and when his eyes go close, we need to have his eyes go down.
I like that. Your game library is more than a lot. I like the phrase "more than a lot."
Well, that was when he only saw half my library. Because I said, how many does this look like? And he's like, more than a lot. And I'm like, well, here's the other half. Oh, yeah, and on top of that, too, if there's any of these games, because these are extras of duplicates that I already have, if any of these interest you, figured out this one, I guess, already was
Defense
used.
grid up there, I guess.
You're
playing on a whole
that one's a little different because I need the people on my friends list to do that, and I'm trying. It depends on the person then. But yeah, if anybody's on here and any of these games look interesting, these like bottom two were two that I just recently got free from Green Man. Evil Genius was $2 at the time, but War of Mine's actually a $20 game.
Bought that so long ago.
And so yeah, if there's anything on this list, Last Remnant's a Square Enix RPG, not that very good though. Darkness 2 is actually one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. Great game. This is only for like a DLC. I played it if it's a DLC only. But Company of Heroes, Payday 2, any of these, if you're looking for it,
Like
let me know. You get it for the grand old price of nothing. I just want to get rid of them. They've been sitting in my Humble Bundle, some of them for years. Maybe just go. Oh no, I can't do that either. Maybe I just go a little like squid here. I don't have Red Dead 2. The game just came out. What do you think I am? I'll buy 2 copies of everything. No, actually, I've never played Red Dead. Red Dead Redemption 1 or 2. Haven't played any of them. Not to say they're good or not. From what I've heard, they're really good. But I have enough games to play.
Best I can tell, Red Dead is essentially Witcher, but you're a cowboy.
It's Grand Theft Auto on horses.
Yeah.
No, some of the games like I've been getting are because of certain other aspects of them. Like Faye, the reason I got that one was I was looking for a game I can play on, or I can stream to my tablet simple enough, and my controller works. And because then I can be more flexible in freedom and where I want to set up. Like I was outside today on the deck, playing a game on Steam, and I can be on the treadmill doing it too if I want. So that's what the versatility is. The reason I was really excited for that one.
So playing video games outside like a weirdo. I haven't even had a handheld system that I would consider portable since the Nintendo Game Boy.
Yeah, well, I didn't really either, but the Switch is awesome.
Yeah. And I'm not even talking about Game Boy Color. I had the big bulky thing that took 4 AA batteries and ate them in like 2 hours. It's magic.
If you're looking for a game that is really goo, I believe I have World of Goo. Oh no, I don't have World of Goo. That is a good game though too. I thought I had a copy of World of Goo.
What a good story. I mean, you got Psychonauts up there. Somebody doesn't appreciate that game.
He probably already has it. And whether or not you actually play it.
Yeah, it does take it is an investment.
Cause yeah, why would he play that when he could play Ruin Light?
Ruin Light?
RuneScape.
Oh.
It's just the one that he's always on says Ruin Light. I bet you if I look at Discord, that's what he's on right now.
Talking about Giz?
Yep.
Yeah.
And actually, get a screenshot just he posted today from it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I played the game once for like 2 hours, and somebody robbed me of everything, so I didn't play anymore. I got into the game, somebody offered it to help me learn how to play, and then they robbed me. I was sad.
Actually, kind of works. I think if I do that, and then just smooth it a little bit. Okay, I don't like eyes right before changing go up. I don't want that. Still feel like there's a lot missing in the background on this. Feels so basic, like they're playing on a stage. I wonder how this would look if the camera was further away. I think it would work depending on the shot. It's a giant rocket. Something to fix a mistake. Yeah. Said to fix a mistake. She's not a mistake. She's a plot device. Oh, and I was trying to come up with who to destroy with the rocket. Originally it was going to be Celestia, but I didn't want to do the Camelot Castle. So I decided to do this, and then just how do we get the rocket there? And it was like, how about just pop it in existence?
I mean, my version involved a makeout, but he didn't want to do that. I'll never forget.
You just solve all your problems with makeout sessions.
That would be an amazing way to solve all my problems.
That'd be a really weird interaction with your boss. I knew you were going to say that, and so I had that planned before I said anything. So how did you solve the discussion with your parents about where to go to dinner?
Oh no. I was imagining the boss thing still. I want to go into that.
Like you know that one story about, is it King Midas?
Yeah.
Or something that got the wish to anything he would touch would turn to gold, and then realized that he couldn't touch anything from then on because he just kept killing people. You have the golden kiss.
I like this. I want this to be spread around.
That you can boop anybody you want, but if they do, they turn to gold. And you'd be like, I don't give a shit. Now I have statues of ponies.
Yay. That made me sad though.
Yes,
ponies are real. Then
your ponies are real, but by booping them, they turn to gold.
No, I'm sad. I don't.
Could you help yourself?
I'd feel really, really, really bad to murder ponies.
And in doing so, they turn very slowly and painfully.
No, why are you making it worse? It was already
They're just
bad.
screaming, and it takes a half hour. And you could just hear the screams in the distance as Michael just cries as he goes pony to pony. I
hate this scenario you have invented. It is horrible on every level.
But I know that you'd still do it.
No. I just feel bad thinking about it.
Your priority is booping over the living.
No.
Do you Ponytown? Oh, no, I've seen lots of stuff from it. It looks really neat, but I've never played it.
Is that 2D thing?
Yeah.
Did Legends of Equestria for a while, and then it stopped being special when they released it all the time.
Yeah, I never played it once they fully released it because I knew that was going to be the case. It was fun when it was limited and restricted, but unless they had a huge amount of content, it wouldn't work because people loved it as a hangout to go and just have fun and hanging out. And when you made it all the time, people are going to hang out in there 24 hours a day.
Well, the game only had like 2 days worth of content, so. And I don't think that changed. I did log into that game one time, after I played it, and apparently the armor my character had is super, super rare now. You can't get it anymore. So everybody was super jealous.
There's an MMO I used to play called Ion. I think I actually brought it up the other night on chat. I played that for a long time, but I kept going back to it over year after year. I think the servers are still running for it. Maybe, because it's no longer on my games list. I don't know. But when one of the pre-order rewards or getting into the closed beta was you got a Michael Jackson dance emote. And when you come back 4 years later, most of the people there aren't from 4 years ago. So we ended up having a bunch of us going, and you could sync your dance moves. And we went into an area and danced. And the amount of people that were DMing us about where to get these dance things because they never seen it before. And it was so funny. And we were wearing hats that you couldn't get anymore. And we had items that would turn us into a penguin that didn't exist anymore. And it was just funny. You felt so special and unique because you went into a game that just was so old. So I'm curious though. Does that MMO still exist? It says Ion on Steam, but it doesn't show it on my list anymore. Yeah, it actually shows that it's still running. Yeah. No, I loved that game. That was a lot of fun for an MMO. For its time, its graphics were really good, but now probably not so much.
I mean, I don't know that graphics matter anymore. WoW pretty much set the standard, and its graphics were crap. I just thought their environments were really well put together. I think Guild Wars 2, when I played that, had a much better looking environment. That's the one game both me and you played. Guild Wars 2. I took 2 days off of work when it first came out, and so I just played it straight for 4 hours. I ended up being in the very, very top tier for levels when the game first came out. So, there's this desert area with this big dragon boss,
and me and a couple people just couldn't beat it, and nobody else I knew were. Just every now and then you go there and there'd be a couple of people there, and we would spend a while trying to beat this dragon boss, and it was a specific pattern you have to go to, and then after a couple of days we figured it out and we were able to beat it. And then like I came back to that game like a month later, and everybody was that level now, and then they could just destroy it because they had like 100 people there to kill it. And some people figured out how to troll by getting themselves on top of his head, and it would prevent him from continuing his fight, and you could never kill it. And so they would just troll everybody by making it unkillable. And I'm like, it just ruined the whole thing for me after that.
I do remember when I played the game as a necromancer.
No, I don't.
I think if you did a necromancer monk, there was like a super difficult dungeon that 2 people could do by themselves. Because it was kind of broken. I think they fixed it later, but there was a period of time where you could just walk into a super high level dungeon and just 2 people could just go through it single-handedly and get lots of high-end gear. Game was a little broken, but it was fun.
Sometimes, like I'd read up on Ion before, where we found a dungeon that was in the enemy territory, and it took a while to get to, but where normally a dungeon would have a cooldown for going into, but if you were the enemy going to that dungeon, for some reason you didn't. So we could keep going into it over and over and over and over and over and over again, though every time you exited, you could be PK'd. So you had to exit and then quickly gather everybody to go back in quick. And then we figured out jumping patterns, and you can glide in that game. And you could glide just right, and you could slide right in the door where the boss was and just skip over all the enemies. And so because we kept doing it, we got really good at this. And you would slide in, and then there was a mini boss, and then there was the bigger boss. The bigger boss we needed more people to do, but the smaller boss could get gear that was good to sell. But and I mentioned this before for them, that game had hit lists. So if you were bringing in a tank, the tank would normally hold aggro by like using whatever skills, and then there was heal aggro, but the tank would normally still keep it. But enemies had hit lists, and so it would keep a list, and knew normally the top 5 people that had been in a fight where he died. And if you were on this list and high enough on the list, so it's not just anybody, but like to where it showed that you were doing an excessive amount, that guy would just hate you, and its aggro would be drastically higher than anything else that you could do. So it means that somebody would be in that fight, and I would come in to help out, and they would be fine, and I would do one hit, and the boss would just look right at me and say, "Fuck that guy," and would just charge it across the room at me, because he didn't care about anybody else at that point, because I was on his hit list. And I was like, oh fuck. And thankfully, it was a classic at off-tank. So anytime I was in any of those, I'm like, I have to off-tank because I don't have any choice. So it was just neat. I was trying to figure out why that was happening, and then I looked it up, and they're like, oh, this is to prevent people from over-farming. Like, oops. Works well if you're the tank, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I was going to say. For the tank, it don't matter.
But if you're the healer or something, and I was playing Chanter on there, and Chanter was a weird class, because you were an off-tank, off-DPS, off-healer. You were the jack-of-all-trades bard. And so your chants were, you would get like 12 or 15 different chants. You could only have 3 running at a time, and each chant would give a large buff. And so you could say, if you're running from point A to B, you could swap out a chant for run speed to get yourself there faster, and then as soon as you get there, swap out the defense. Or if there's a certain part where they're weak to magic, swap over to magic attack or evasion, so you could swap all these different buffs, and they all kind of balance different. It was just neat. So as you're going through the game, you're just constantly swapping your chants.
Mm-hmm.
And that just buffed everybody. But you had partial magic, partial a staff for doing physical. You could tank if you needed to based on your chance, and you could... but if you were in the group and not doing any of it, then you were the DPS instead. So it was just... You go in, you're like, what do I want to do today?
Yeah. Yeah, when I was... and you might find this interesting. When I was playing World of Warcraft, which was the MMO I played the longest, I played as a single character. It was a dwarf paladin. I played as a single character in the like 2.5 years I played World of Warcraft. It was a dwarf paladin. Where have I played a dwarf paladin in another game?
Were you as egotistical then too?
Oh, absolutely. I was the best dwarf paladin ever.
Yeah, actually, I played DPS, I've played healer, I've played tank, I played all the classes, and tank was always the most fun to me. When I played Perfect World, I was a tank on that one, and I loved it.
Here's the thing about playing a tank versus like playing a healer, at least in WoW. It's like, if you're the tank and you defeat a hard boss, yay tank! You're the best tank we've ever had. If everybody wipes on a hard boss, it's all the healer's fault.
The fun thing with when I was playing the tank is that was a pay-to-win game. And at that point, I was putting some money into it. But they had these items that you could put on. And when you would drop below half health, it would take a certain amount from this item and it would refill all your health. And it would recharge every 10 seconds. So every 10 seconds, as long as you weren't dead, you would get all your health back. But I was a super beefy tank to where it was very hard for people to do enough damage in 10 seconds to kill me. Because if they didn't, pop back up. I had 2 people that were some of the best DPSs on the server that I was on in a duel against me, and they couldn't kill me. Like, and at one point, I just sat down. And I'm like, and nope. And there was a skill I had that would drop all damage by 90% for a certain period.
Yeah.
And so you'd hit that, and then they see all their damage go to nothing, and then they just run away really quick. And it was super fun. But it was also that I could go into these dungeons where like, normally you have to bring this full team, and I'd be like, "Nah, I'm good." They're like, "Don't you want a healer?" "Nah, I'm good." And like, okay. And then I would just go and solo everything, like like the entire dungeon, like for mid to end game.
You sounded broken.
I was, and I had a weapon that I farmed out for a long time. Had a group help me farm it, that it would have a chance to double damage on hit. And then if you crit, it doubled. Well, thank you. You have returned. Hello, Moon. No, it had a chance to do double damage, and then you had a chance to crit, which would double damage. And I had another skill that when I did it, it had a chance, or it would double my damage before for all my attacks for a certain period. And a friend of mine had an attack that would also then, if he hit somebody with it, would double damage. So in the perfect storm situation,
yeah,
you could do some stupid damage. And that happened once. This was back when I was a very angry person in the game because of other stuff going on in my life. And I was a PK asshole for a while. And I was just murdering people because they couldn't kill me and it was fun. So we went and started a duel above the gate. And so the western gate was where people would just go to hang out. It was a PK, or it wasn't a PK, it was just outside the gate. So the guards were there. But if you went up to too close, the guards would come and just one-shot you. But it allowed people to go out there and kind of poke at each other, go ha 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 ha, and then run inside. And so me and this guy started a duel with each other. And then I hit my double damage skill, and he drops down and uses his skill. And then I did an AoE attack with it. And there was one guy that it procced everything on. And he was a tank that was an endgame tank, and I dropped him in a single hit. And he was calling hacks because he thought it was impossible. But we dropped down, and every time you did a player kill, you would gain 30 minutes of a red name. Problem with the red name is if you were dead with that without a special paid version of an item, a doll, and you died, you dropped your entire inventory. Mm-hmm. And anybody could pick up your entire inventory. And so you had to have this doll. And if you see a red name in the wild, you could get all their stuff. So it was kind of tempting. Well, and every half hour it increases, your name would go from a light pink into like red and red. I dropped down and I went to blood red right when I dropped, and it took me a full like 2 days to get rid of it because you had to wait for time to go by. And I killed so many people in one go that it happened. I'm like, oh shit. And I just bolt out of there.
Like, nope.
It was funny.
I do not want to lose my thing.
One of my favorite moments was on that same gate. One of the guys we were playing with, so on that server there was one guild that ruled the nation, and they ruled it because in there they had sections that you could control, and you would have little guild wars, and you could challenge a guild to a battle, and then if you won, you could own that territory and get some money off it, whatever. One guild had so much power that they took over all territories except 3, and and if you own a territory, you can only take a territory next to the one you own. If you own none, then you can pick any. So they allowed 3 territories for people to own, allowed, and then other groups would try to take the territory from this group, but they were so powerful and pay-to-win assholes that nobody could beat them. And so they would have this politics on the server for controlling these territories. And so you basically had to be on good terms with them. And then they would take that territory that they allowed open from that group. And then you would go into battle with them and they'd give it to you. It was some bullshit stuff. But there was one other nation that was almost as powerful as them and did contest some territory. I ended up being on that asshole team, their guild, for a while. And they were PK assholes. They took all the world bosses. They took everything. They owned the server. They were the mob. Actually, the tank that I was called a beast. That I was actual tiger. Look, Alexander. But the one guy that was the biggest pay-to-win person on that team was a mage, and he had paid so much money for his account. We think it was worth about $25,000 to $30,000. We're not kidding.
I believe it.
We did the math. To get up to the max enchant level was cost you $1,000 at the last level for each piece of equipment, and it doubled in price across the line, and it was 6 pieces of equipment. But he was so powerful. He was tankier than I was, and he was a mage.
Yeah.
So he could just nuke anybody. And so he would go out in the gate and he would just run around in circles, and he would stand there and they'd be like, ha ha ha, you do one attack and everybody would melt. Like, it was definitely a pay-to-win game, but I had fun in it. But he had a girlfriend that had access to his account, and they fell through, and he didn't change his password. So she got into his account, took all of his gear, put it on the auction house, and then had this other group, the Immortals, I think it was, bought all the stuff off the market. And they did it that way because it was considered that they could no longer do something about it. Because now it was an in-game purchase, so even though it was stolen, they couldn't give it back to him. Mm-hmm. And so he lost all of his gear, and he was pissed. He, I guess, had all this money because of a lawsuit for some injury that occurred, so he had a lot of money. So he goes onto a different account that had the same kind of buffs on it, but was a different class. And he just starts murdering people outside and just typing in all caps, like screaming. And we're like, dude, what happened? And he's like, and he's just screaming. And we're like, what's going on? And all he says is, like, well, what happened? And he goes, and he just says, it's your fault, to my friend. And he goes, what did I do? And he just, my favorite phrase in that game, I'm driving a truck through your house right now. That's just what he said. Like, what the fuck does that mean? And he calmed down a little bit, but he was very angry, understandably.
Oh, I imagine. Paying that much money to a player.
Okay, see you later, Buggo. I have screenshots on my photo bucket from that game. We one time did it where a friend of mine was playing the healer class, and you could basically keep healing yourself. But he would build up heal aggro by going through the newbie area, and he would aggro every enemy in the map. And each of them it wasn't just enemy spawning, it was a certain amount. So he grabbed every enemy in the entire map, every one of them on him at one time, to where the land was barren. There was nobody. There was nothing. Newbies were going across and complaining in chat that there was nothing to kill because he had all of them. But as you got closer to him, the game would stop for a moment because it had to load in everything. He had so many monsters on him that he couldn't see. They were doing 1 hit every 10 hits for 1 damage. He had 3,000 to 4,000 health, and he was having to heal constantly to stay alive. So he was taking tens of thousands of hits so quick. The sound that came from this just sounded like a low rumble. It was whoa, 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 because all the sound files playing at once for all the monsters hitting him couldn't comprehend by the game. It was, and then he would just start running around, and some poor little newbie decided he wanted to help him out, so he healed him once, and the entire mob just like shuffled over to this newbie, and then just like he disappeared, and then it shuffled back to him.
Poor guy.
It was a good time. I can I can probably dig into my photo bucket to find those, but I haven't been to my photo bucket for a while, and I don't even know if I remember my account info. I should just literally dump everything from it because I don't. No, that had to have been. Yeah, okay. I just typed it wrong the first time. Upgrade now to, because you have you have to now. Must now remove 154 images.
Oh, it's gonna make you pay money if you want your photos, essentially.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, let me pick my images. They probably just got rid of them. I don't care. I'm not gonna pay the money. Actually, I don't know what's in here. But if it did do that. Oh, yeah, the one thing is, I remember I said before that I lost all my Halo 2 pictures. I have some of them, but they are only these tiny little versions. Because I had to make these tiny versions for other stuff. But, these were as I was doing tutorials on rule of thirds, positioning, and all this. That's a lot of my old Halo 2 stuff. Neat. But... it was that was Ion that I was talking about. This is on when I was doing Ghostbusters, which was when we did a Gears of War clan. Then there's Ace Online with the Crucius was our thing, and we used a cat as our logo for a while. That's us doing stupid pictures. God, I have a lot of crap on here. These are all like 20 years old. But I know I have a picture.
Just saying that out loud hurt.
So this was Ion. This is like us doing one of the big fights, but that was actually such a big fight that I had to turn my graphics down for it. There it is. So that was when we were getting started.
Mm-hmm. You got a bunch of rams.
This is when he got into town. So we're going through town and there's these people that are like, the fuck is going on? And he just had this large mob just, and there's more in there just on his way out. And it's this little blue leprechaun. Well, how do I shrink that back down now? Let's go back. Oh, yeah. I thought I had a better picture. Oh yeah, this is him coming down the hill. He could get about that far away from them before he would start losing enemies, so he had to move a couple feet at a time. But that was good times.
Yes.
And then my Gmod days. Oh, one cool thing with that game is when in the closed beta, when they were going to be shutting down the servers for the game to open up for real the next day or in a week or something, the devs loaded up this normally is a tiny guy, and they had him just holding a giant thing of dynamite, and they basically said like, come watch us blow up the server. And then you went there, and literally when the timer ran out, everybody died with an explosion, and then they're like lol lol lol, and they went dancing around for a little. it was actually pretty funny. These are my
Is that a duck in a space helmet?
It's Space Duck.
Why space duck?
There was a joke for it, I can't remember.
It's important. I have to remember.
Like heavy with sandwich.
Yes.
That's Gmod. Or this is I used to work at Estes, and this is what happens when you load 10,000 pounds in the first 8 feet of the trailer.
Whoops.
So as soon as he backed out from the front, it just went eep. So they had to get a forklift over there to lift the front of it so that they could get somebody in there to empty it.
Mm-hmm.
And it was also compressed helium.
Fun.
Yeah. Somebody was not smart.
Wouldn't think helium would be so heavy.
But yeah, it's got some stupid stuff on here. But and I love that they're like, you have to get rid of all these images. Well, what if I just close it?
That's a good question.
I'm going to keep this to the side because I think I might try downloading them all. Sounds almost like Fortnite. It's not. It was. I wouldn't call them medieval based for Ion, but it was a standard MMO. It was very, very standard. It wasn't. It didn't reinvent much. It was trying to claim that it was a PvPvE, but it just meant that there was things trying to kill you with other things that were trying to kill you. It really didn't invent much. Most MMOs went that route.
The MMOs I played were World of Warcraft, City of Heroes when it first came out, Guild Wars 2, and Final Fantasy 11. Final Fantasy 11 was the first one I ever played. That game was broken.
I played it wasn't City of Heroes.
There was City of Villains.
No, it was like that, but it wasn't. It was with the official like Superman stuff.
Oh yeah, I think I remember.
I played that one for quite a while. It was actually a lot of fun. It was a good game.
Yeah, I remember playing City of Heroes for a good long while. But the amount of content, at least in the original release of the game, was kind of. I kind of did everything, which is something that most MMOs you can't do everything.
Oh, cool. You used to play Ion? That's cool. I wish I could go back to a game or to an MMO like that within its first month of release, because it's always the best time. Nobody's min-maxing, everybody's learning, everybody is making mistakes, and it was super fun. But then you get to the point where you have to have the top gear to do anything that's fun. The game starts rushing you through these areas that were built to be pretty from the start, and it just skipping over all the cool stuff. And it's no longer about progression. It's about getting you to top levels so that you can just farm gear for the rest of your time. That's when MMOs no longer fun for me.
I'll tell you, Final Fantasy XI wasn't fun, mainly because if you wanted to do anything, you had to have the absolute top gear all the time for your level, or nobody would accept you into the party.
Yeah, but that's all MMOs. They always get to that point.
Well, I mean, every level, like level 5 to level 10 to level 15, you had to have the very best gear for your level, or nobody would accept you, because the penalty for wiping was severe. Dying had a severe penalty. You could lose levels.
Well, early on, they lightened up on that later.
Yeah, they did later, but when I played it, that's how it was. And 90% of my time playing that game, and I played it for a good year and a half, maybe a little longer, was spent farming. Just farming, so that I could get the money I needed for the gear that would allow me to continue on to the next area.
Well, in a way, that's all MMOs. They always become farming. It's how fun can you make farming. That's why, like, Dungeon Defenders, the reason I had 700 hours in there was because the farming was the best part. It was so fun.
Yeah, but when I say farming, I mean, like, literally just running through a mine with a pick for hours on end, just collecting materials, like, every day, and then selling them on the auction house.
Oh yeah, I can't do anymore. Like Borderlands can be pretty fun farming, depending. But yeah, Dungeon Defenders was the best end game farm I've ever had.
Yeah.
And the number 2 became a pay to win game, and then they went and just recreated the first one.
Yeah.
Because they guess found that was a mistake, and it's basically the first game but worse. Legit sounds like RuneScape. Yeah, we were actually just talking about RuneScape before too.
Yeah, the other thing was that I think what finally made me quit Final Fantasy XI at that time was fast traveling was expensive. Like, in World of Warcraft, it's a small fee, but in Final Fantasy XI, it was not only expensive, it wasn't that fast. Like, to get from one continent to the other, you had to take a boat, and while you were on the boat, it could be attacked by pirates. And if it was attacked by pirates, you could get killed, and like I was already saying, that could be a big problem. So you had to... Taking the boat wasn't something you did lightly. You had to have somebody either on the ship who was high enough level to kill the pirates, or you had to have a group that was prepared to fight them in case they showed up and it was random. And I think what finally made me quit is I spent like a good 2 weeks finally being able to... I got to level, I think, 25. I got to the new island, fought the pirates on the way there, survived, got into my very first fight with all the best gear that took me forever to get. White in my very first fight. And I got dropped back a level, which made all my gear useless. I could no longer wear any of the gear. So what I would have had to do is get back on the boat, go back to the first continent, make my way back to the main city, put all of my gear on the auction house, buy all of the old gear back, go back to the previous area, fight a few fights to get back up to my level, the level that was required for the other area, and then go through it all over again. And I was just like, nope. I just put the game down and never went back. It was bad.
I was gonna mention, Moon, do you, because of the Sims thing, did you have if you want me to pull up the list for other ones to look at? I actually have a couple added to that now. Because I got Evil Genius and War of Mine for free just recently, and I already have them both. So, which is the worst part about it is that I got them, and then I realized that I already had them. Like I legitimately didn't know. This is like my favorite thing to do. I get to ban somebody.
Why do you get to ban them?
Because they're a spammer. I love doing that. It's so fun. It's like, ooh, power. They're trying to sell followers.
Are you gonna be okay? Like, I feel like you suddenly have this rush of
You're
power.
banned.
Ah, crap.
You give me your stamps, so I don't need you anymore.
Wow. That's all this was. It's a long play for stamps.
Years of friendship waiting for this one moment to get stamps.
Ah, your stamps are mine.
But yeah, anything on this list. I mean, well, should. Oregon Trail. It's like a zombie type game. It's kind of like Oregon Trail, but it's with zombies. So they called Oregon Trail. Get it? It's funny. I played it a little bit. Never really got into it much. It's not a very big game or anything. Yeah, no, it's fun. It's funny. But yeah. If there's any there that interest you, doesn't bother me. And I'm probably gonna get one right now because of the change in VIP membership for Green Man Gaming. I get a free game a week right now, and that's where Evil Genius and Warmind came from. They also like Lucifer 3 or something like that. Lucius 3 isn't the last one, but I actually didn't have that one. I don't care about the game, but if I can add it to my hundreds of other games I don't play, I might as well. I feel like there needs to be more umph.
She's super strong. She take dog. She wants food. Give me burger. It's a burger moment. I put burger here. Yes. Burger
What
goes
did?
in
Right there.
Yes.
Right there.
Give him ums.
Itchy. Alright, see you, Alexander. Yes, me and my random long conversations and boring animating. I hope I entertained you. Last stream I didn't get anything done. It was just mainly just talking the whole time.
About MMOs?
No, just other stuff. It was fun.
Secrets of the universe.
Yeah, no, actually, it seems like most people just like the just chatting part of it, so that's why I was like, yeah, whatever. I mean, it's nice being able to get some stuff done sometimes, but at the same time, whatever. If I'm just sitting here silent working on stuff too, I don't think that's really entertaining.
I'm pretty much just here for the off chance he makes opponents kiss again. I've been waiting a long time. May never happen, but fingers crossed. Just so you know.
The only time they will be kissing is if it happens to be that if I'm when moving one model to another point, they happen to like clip through each other. But then that would just be like, you know, breaking of reality.
Yeah, it's just not so good. I can't help but feel like if you ever did make a video like that, just to get back at me and my happiness, you would constantly have to be like deforming the horses and smashing their faces in and breaking their legs or something. You're evil. You are evil. Just so clear. Ooh, she got the forward face. Her neck is weird.
From this angle it works though. Nah, I don't think it's gonna work that. Okay, I can actually see her neck kind of like slowly sliding upwards here. So I'm going to decrease that a little bit. And maybe just round it. I think that's all it needs.
You know, he does. It is evil. He tortures the ponies. I've seen it.
What's the game you recommend? For the record, I don't have a very good computer. It's just a standard laptop. A lot of these games are old. So, like, Psychonauts is very old.
That's good.
I haven't never played it, so I can't say. Payday 2 is really the most fun if you have other people to play with, so that doesn't really work. Company of Heroes, I can't say anything to. I haven't played it. Magica is another one that's better with people. Where Warships is a bonus thing. Human Revolution is the more recent. That is a single-player, first-person game. That one's actually pretty good if you're looking for a good story-based game. These are the older Hitmans, so man, if you're looking for an RPG, that one sucks, so probably not. Dust is a platformer side-scroller. That's a very artistic, kind of free-based game, but that one's actually quite a bit of fun and not very long. Orcs Must Die is tower defense. I played it for a little bit. It's pretty good. It came out with the second one because it was successful enough, but Gary's Mod's always a classic, but again, that's probably better with people. Don't Know Broken Sword, don't really... I played that a little bit. Crayon Physics, if you're looking for a puzzle game, actually is a lot of fun. I beat it. I played the whole thing. It's fun. It's physics based on, like, you have a crayon and you draw things, and as soon as you let go and you draw on it, it gets physics. And so you can, like, build pivots and stuff with crayon. It's kind of cool. I really enjoyed that one.
Crown Physics. Yeah.
Cannibalt's kind of just like a very short game. Never played Evil Genius or War of Mine. War of Mine is a... I've heard a lot of good things about.
I bought it, never played it.
Otherwise, I was going to say Darkness 2 is a first-person shooter that is probably one of my favorite first-person shooters of all time. It's a little gory, but it's a first-person shooter where you're basically possessed by a demon that talks with you, but you can use like these tentacles that come under your back in addition to your gun. But as it goes through the game and the demon starts getting more and more powerful, some of your powers get outrageous, and the end of the game is very well done once the thing goes haywire. I found that is still one of my favorite shooters, and I think I beat it twice at like very different times because I just one time was like, I want to play through that again because that was fun. It's based on you're like the son of a mobster, and some people try to kill you, but they can't because the demon won't let you die. It's neat. It's really cool.
I'll have to try it sometime.
It is a game that if you like a first-person shooter and you don't mind it being a little bit gory, because you're basically spearing people like through the chest and ripping them in half and then like throwing them around.
It's inconvenient.
But they're all ragdoll physics. So as soon as you spear through them, they just kind of go like floppy, and so it can be kind of funny. And you can like throw them up a building, and then you can play like juggling with corpses.
See, you said now this game's gory. So you shouldn't play this, kids, but you wouldn't believe how much fun it is to just juggle the corpses around. It's so much fun.
It is. I was trying to see how high I could get the person to go up. Like, so if you like jumped and then like, because the physics would then bring them down, and you threw them at just the right time, you could like, you could get them to have like the spring effect because you jumped. So if you did it timed it just right, you could get them up like 8 stories. I spent a lot of time on that game just doing stupid shit.
I was in Morrowind probably at the time, depending on how old that game was, taking off everyone's clothes. So I was busy.
But so yeah, if there's anything from here, otherwise I'm out of my time here, so I'll give it a minute here. But
Bro.
But it's a good game. It is, and that's Darkness 2. Darkness 1 was also a good game. Darkness 2 just was the beginning of Darkness 2. It's not really a spoiler because whatever is you're in a restaurant and then it's attacked while you're eating, and it started on fire, and so you're injured, and a guy throughout the whole thing, somebody is pulling you by your shirt across the ground to get you out, and you're defending from behind. So as you're being pulled through a burning building from behind, you have your guns and you're taking people out as you're moving through. So like the whole beginning of the game is an on fire Italian restaurant rail shooter, and so it's actually really neat.
Taking out Olive Garden.
That's what it essentially was. It was because you're the mafia.
Of course.
Because
Doesn't look like it's on there anymore. Oh no, there it is. I see it.
oh yeah, there it is.
The Darkness.
But no, it's a.
Is it like Half-Life 2 level graphics at least? Top cow. Yeah, those are decent.
No, the game isn't that old. It's 2012.
Well, that's old for a lot of people watching.
So yeah, that guy wanted your power. That's what it was. But
Actually, that's a good looking game. I thought it was older.
but it is. It's just so fun that you have first-person shooter combat with this like demon on your back that you can control. So basically, you have to have it works best with a controller because you can basically control everything. And like that guy, he picked up a pool cue and then threw it to spear through somebody. But that game it's just so fun.
I mean, yeah, maybe. I am kind of between games right now.
And you can get powers where you can like become invisible, and then like you can become the darkness on the ground, and so you can like it'll travel the ground and then just come up and grab somebody and then pull them back down.
Become the darkness. I want the subtitle of Darkness 2 is like the darkness. More darkness.
Well, if anything, Moon, I'm gonna be ending it here. But if you want, just message me on Discord, like in the gaming chat or something, or if anybody's on the Discord and if any of those games interest them, just say something and I can pass you the key then. So.
Oh.
But I think there's a couple things I still need to figure out with that video. I'm getting to the point where I'm thinking I'm just going to maybe look at the audio bits a little bit, but I'm not going to add any music. I think I might want to add some extra varying sound effects within to vary it up, but I just don't think I'm going to add music over it because it's going to make too much of a change, and I don't think I could time it, which is fine. Or I need to find a way to lead more into the beginning. So I need some thought on it, but normally I don't do that when I'm not on here. I don't like doing that stuff on here. So, oh, that's sweet. Thank you very much.
Do you have stamps to give him? Huh? We'll fight?
I already have stamps. I'm good. I'm good for like a year and a half.
Yeah, I hardly ever use stamps. I got those stamps like years ago.
The stamps I had were 2009. Guess when I got them?
2009?
Yeah. It took me 11 years to go through one thing of them.
Those? I have no idea how old those are.
2015.
Not as old.
It's super tiny. First class. Ooh, you're fancy.
He's fancy.
So, okay. But yeah, I'm going to be done. And if I get more games added to this list, I will let you know. Probably I think it's like Monday that it resets. I might have a new one. I used to just buy Humble Bundles because I could buy a Humble Bundle. I don't do that anymore. Now it has to have something that I legitimately wanted to play, not just I don't have that. So.
And some Humble Bundle games are good. I've gotten a few I've enjoyed.
Well, they have I think Paradox Interactive right now is the current. No, Double Fine.
Ooh, well, there's Psychonauts right there.
Yeah,
But,
so it's Psychonauts. I don't know what those ones are. Broken Age has been another
Day
game.
of the Tentacles. Good.
Brutal Legend, Massive Chalice. I got that because it's like a Final Fantasy Tactics type game, but I never really got into
That's
it.
interesting. They got Day of the Tentacle on there. They must have bought it from LucasArts because the history of Double Fine is essentially LucasArts used to make games that weren't just about Star Wars, and then they decided to make games that were just about Star Wars.
Grim
Grim
Fandango too.
Fandango, yeah, they must have. Yeah. Grim Fandango's really good.
Well, yeah, they
Full
have,
throttle.
that's the main bundle right now, and then there's a lot. Oh yeah, and here's this. They do have the Paradox Interactive.
I kind of want that now. I kind of want all that.
Age of Wonders 3, BattleTech. I know that one is a pretty decent game too.
Stellaris.
Yeah,
I've been playing that.
when I saw you're playing it, I checked and there was no DLCs or anything on here for it. Because if there was all the DLCs, it'd be great. If there was DLCs.
Yeah, I kind of already ate these.
Can I take Orcs and Oregon? You want both? That is fine.
I'm gonna put this chair.
Yes, I will do that quick, and then I will end the stream. I just have. Oh, good. I'm on Humble Bundle now. Because I have to send it. And you're gonna have to let me know if these work or not. Because again, if I thought none of them were taken, but apparently some of them were. Orcs and Oregon. When you put it like that, I don't know. That's those. You probably shouldn't put those words together. Let me see here. Where's Whisper? There it is. Oh, yeah. Actually, hold on. I cannot whisper through Streamlabs. Which kind of sucks, but I guess I can understand that. Oh, yeah, I'll just send you a DM with it, and then a whisper, and it will have the codes in there for you. So, if you got to take the dogs out, I know that that's important. They need to pee and stuff. So yeah, just give me a minute, I'll send it to you on there, and then you should be able to find it. And otherwise, if you don't get it then, I'll get it to you some other time. Anyways, I'll be done then. So you guys don't have to just watch me doing nothing. So, I will be back on Tuesday to work on more stuff. Okay, bye-bye. Oh yeah, hold on. You gotta do Kitty.
Yay, kitty, meow.
I forgot that one time. Somebody made a comment because I had one stream I missed it on. They're like, "Where's the kitty?"
That's what everyone comes to the stream.
I know. Apparently, well now you got your kitty.
Meow meow.
So, all right. See you later. Bye bye.